You already fucked up.
Podcast. I am your host, Rafael Chairez, the host of the Full Heel Podcast. Joining me today once again on this beautiful Mother's Day, this Sunday, what is it, May 10th, 2020, Ryan Dempsey.
I am the fucking game. Sorry, I had to. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there in Full Heel podcast land.
We should probably be hanging out. Like I should probably hang out with my mom. You should probably be hanging out with Kara, but we're here.
Well, Kara's not my mom. As everyone's like, "What are you guys doing for Kara?" I'm like, "Kara's not my mom. What's with the kids? The kids got to cook for her. The kids got. What'd you guys get her? Nothing. The kids got to get that job, and the kids got to buy her something. Not me. My mom's taken care of. Their mom. That's on them. Carla and Connor dropped the ball, man.
I gave my mom the option of, you want me to go pick you up stuff for Mother's Day, or do you want money so you can buy the flowers that you want to garden because you love flowers?
Right.
So she's like, give me the money and I'm going to go buy my flowers. So I gave her the money, gave her a hug. She bought her flowers. She showed them to me. She said, thank you. Got my flowers, and right now they're grilling. So
you gave her a blank check and she came back with just like half the store. It's like...
No, I saw the plants. I saw them on the table, and I saw how much they were. They already come potted and everything, and they're really nice little flowers. People were commenting on them. Mom has she does like a nice little garden set up in her front yard.
Nice.
So she wanted some more of those. She actually asked us, me and my father, to check how much they were yesterday, and we forgot to because I needed to go buy another fridge because my Snapple fridge shat the bed finally.
No.
Yeah.
So that just like a little side fridge that you have? Or?
Yeah, well, since I'm up here in the attic and like the stairs to get up here kind of like turn, so to get stuff up here is kind of hard, so a full-size fridge will not fit up here.
Right.
But I've had this one in mind since Snapple started giving me problems. It's a medium-sized. Well, it's a 4.3 cubic feet fridge, so it's like 3.5 feet tall. It's got its own mini freezer, and the bottom part is like the size of a mini fridge with the shitty freezer. You know, the little shitty freezer?
Yeah.
That's just fridge compartment. I have a freezer up top for it. Like an actual freezer.
I love how you're dropping the Snapple in hopes that maybe someone from Snapple's hearing you say Snapple and they send you a free Snapple fridge.
Well, Snapple, if you guys want to send me a free Snapple fridge, that would be awesome. It did last me a while. It was an older fridge donated to me by some guy from Walgreens, our neighbor dude.
Okay.
I've had it for a while. You know, it did its thing, and then lately it started freezing everything, and then it just shut the bed.
That's what happened to our old fridge. It went from, it was, because I don't know, like, say with the settings are like 1 to 10 for coldness. At like 8, everything was warm, and at 9, everything was frozen. So I like called up the landlord. I'm like, hey, I don't know about this fridge. I have it at 9, everything's freezing, and at 8, everything stays nice and warm, and it's, nothing is refrigerated anymore.
It was either all or nothing.
Yeah, it's like, do you want it frozen or do you want it cooked? not even cooked, just rancid.
Yeah.
Like when you open up the fridge first thing in the morning, you can like just smell warm food. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, no, and then I got lucky too, and lucky that my fridge broke. Right, that doesn't sound like luck, but my fridge breaks, and I'm like, fuck. And I tell my dad, I'm like, hey, Dad, can we go to Home Depot? I'm like, and you put it on your Home Depot card, and I'll just pay you half, and then I'll pay you half next week, and then I can just get a new fridge. Because I'm like, I don't want to use all my check and then be fucking broke for the week because I need a fridge.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll just ask him tomorrow. And then he comes upstairs, and he's like, hey, you got this check in the mail. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, shit. It's the COVID check. They accidentally sent me an extra one.
Careful, guys.
Brian looks super scared. Like shit's falling out.
It's going great. No, they have this like indoor tent
Oh.
and they had like the poles out,
Mm.
and they're just like swinging like lightsabers, and I can
Oh
just see this thing
fuck.
like, come crashing down, like, and they're like, they're long, like they're like, if Connor puts his hand up and he's like what, like 2 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and he's hitting the ceiling. So if he swings that thing down, everything on the computer shelf's coming down, crashing on
Yeah,
me. So
yeah.
I'm like, oh god, the last thing I need.
Yeah. No, dude, I thought it was a second COVID check, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to rip this check up and throw it away because they deposited into my account.
Oh, right, right.
Because I had gone online and I requested, I'm like, hey, don't send me the check. And I thought maybe like they made a mistake and they had sent me a second COVID check. And I heard about the
Right.
case where the guy got like $1,200,000 instead of the
What?
$1,200. Yeah,
Oh,
but the
damn.
government's like, hey, give me the money back.
He's like, what money?
Yeah,
This guy's got.
it was a
He's
mistake. You don't get $1
he's
million.
on an island. He's on Fight Island, or hanging with Dana now.
Yeah, unless, yeah, unless it was just a hoax. But no, I think they actually did make that mistake. They gave him $1,200,000 instead of the 1,200. They just added extra zeros.
Well, that's what happened in a lot in Ontario, because so many people were like, "Oh shit, we gotta get this money! Like, I gotta start." Because everyone lost their job at the same time, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was going on filing online. That there was the systems were crashing on the government websites. So some people applied a second time, a third time, a fourth time, just trying to, because they didn't think that they had completed the registration. And then some people were getting like, you're supposed to get $2,000, and some people were getting 4, some people were getting 6. And the government's like, don't worry, we have transaction records. If they don't let us know, we will get our money back one way or another. Like,
yeah, so I was kind of like, I'm like, my dad's like, hey, you got another check? And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that check's gonna be. I don't think I'm gonna be using that check. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, I think it's the COVID check. I'm like, I just think they accidentally sent me a second one because I requested it online.
right.
And I open it up and it's for like $450. I'm like, whoa! And I look at the sender, and it's from the Department of Education, and I'm like, ka-ching!
Oh, sweet. So it was actually a legit check.
Yeah, it was a legit check. So the
Perfect.
motherfuckers at the Department of Education overcharged my ass over the years because I hadn't been paying them the first couple of years. I
right,
said,
right.
fuck you, you're not getting my money. So they started taking my money, and they were taking my income tax, and I guess they took too much because they sent me a check and it says student loan refund on the bottom. So
That's all right.
yeah, so they gave me a check and I went and bought a fridge and I have a little bit extra. I'm trying to see what I do with it. Like, I'm trying to be an adult about it and buy a couch that I need as a futon instead of just fucking sleeping on the floor like an animal.
Right.
So that would be pretty cool to have a nice little futon / bed.
For sure.
And not the one with the bars, like a little bit nicer one. So I think that's what I'm going to go for.
One that has more like a better frame.
Yeah. So, like, the actual cushions, you can't feel the bottom of the fucking frame.
Yeah.
I don't want the metal frame with the shitty cushion on top. No, I want it all one piece where it doesn't remove or nothing. It's all the one that clicks where you go click, and then like you can drop it. Like, oh,
Yeah. I had like a really simple. I think it was maybe $200 for a futon. So I guess that's made like $350 in American. This was years ago, and
loonies, right?
the guy. Pardon?
Loonies.
Yeah, 200 loonies.
That's what Canadian money's called, bro. I don't name
it. No, it is. I know. But the guy at the store is like, "Do you want to get a different mattress or just take the mattress that comes with it?" I'm like, "Nah, whatever. I'm not paying more money for the mattress when it already has one."
Mm-hmm.
My back, I think that's like 90% of the reason why my back is so fucked up is because of sleeping on that.
Yeah.
That was like the floor. I guess you'd say the floor model mattress style thing. Because that thing was like, as thick as a piece of paper.
Yeah, no, like if you get the metal frame one that has the jail bar frames, and then
and that's what I had.
I hate those. No. This one's like the little, I guess the one above that where it's all one piece is the mattress and the couch frame are one.
That's the best way to go. Yeah.
I'm gonna get that one because you don't feel the bars as long as you avoid the middle and you pick a side, you're good.
Right.
Cushion wise, so I'll get that for a while till I can afford a better situation. But I also want a beat pad machine, man. Sometimes being an adult kind of sucks because I'm like, I need the couch, it'd look cooler for the room, it'd bring the room together, the guests could sit on it, I got somewhere to sleep, but I could also have a beat machine.
It's like that's my problem. Like I go to like take the kids to Toys R Us,
Ah,
and
are
like
you rubbing it in? Oh
well,
my
no, like I'll take the
god.
kids to Toys R Us sometimes,
Well, I'm
like
gonna make that a
before
banned
all of
fucking
this,
subject
and
on the
I'm
show.
like, I'm like, okay, you guys can go and do your, go find something. I'll buy you. We'll get you guys each a toy. And I meander over down to like the wrestling figure section
Hmm.
and the Ninja Turtle section and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I theoretically could afford this, and this. But then it's
Dude,
like, do I want to pay Hydro this month or do I want this Stone Cold? I'm like,
if this fucking
hot water.
podcast made any money, it would be so awesome. I could fucking send you money and be like, "Hey Ryan, just send me the line of fucking figs you have there. Just ship them over. I don't have toys. I don't have toys
That's
because
right.
like I saw Zack Ryder and Curtis
Going
Hawkins. They
Hawkins.
went to a
Yeah.
couple of Toys R Us's in Canada. Little, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. In the United States, when we had Toys R Us and we have Target and we have Walmart, they each have an exclusive line or exclusive figure or something
Right,
exclusive
right.
to them. Canada doesn't have that bullshit. Canada's Toys R Us has everything, so you can find the Target exclusives at Toys R Us because you guys do not have Target. So Toys R Us claims those legends. Dude, Zack Ryder and fucking Curtis Hawkins went and cleared out like 30 fucking different toys of the Legends line. Like Million
Oh
Dollar
yeah.
Man with the belt, fucking Macho King, all these fucking badass figures for a cent each, dude.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to fucking I don't know what I wanted. I wanted to go like fucking if I had hair like I don't even have
I
a
thought
Target. So
I
like
thought that
or sorry, a Toys R Us.
I thought Toys R Us was they were reopening in the states. I know that they went bankrupt and they're shutting down. But I thought like never happened.
It's garbage. It's
Oh
they
really?
came back in small force. They're trying to see what works, but it's nowhere near as what and I
I
haven't checked
think
it out. It's just from second sources I've heard, but it's nowhere near what the full capacity that Toys R Us used to be.
right. Yeah, and I don't know if it's because we don't have like we have Walmart and really that's about it for toy. Like we used to have like Zellers. We had Target for like a year, if that, and we've had other um, toy well, big stores that have a toy department,
Hmm.
but they're nothing compared to like what you see like in the states. Like our Walmart's probably like the size of like a the toy department in an American Walmart. I would almost bet that. So I think Toys R Us can kind of get away with that advantage in Canada because of the fact that there's no competition.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can go to Walmart and they might have like 8, 9 different figures in Star Wars, in Marvel, in wrestlers and stuff like that, and that's it. And it's like, okay, well, they've had the exact same things on the shelf for the past year and a half now, so let's go try a different store. And you go to Toys R Us, and it's just like wild. It's great. Like I've seen, I think it was like zombie style figures at
Hmm.
Toys R Us from like 3 years ago
Yeah, no,
that were
Toys R Us
that
has
were
some old shit I
just
need.
and I think we even get stuff from the states that don't sell. They ship it up to Canada to be like, here, you take this.
Well, that's what Five and Below started doing. They started like whatever big toy stores don't sell, they go to
Right.
Five and Below, and if you get like I got lucky one time and I found an AJ Styles Elite and a Universal Champion Kevin Owens,
That's
and
all
they're
right.
elites with all of the articulation and everything. So I picked them up. I had them on the wall for a while, but then I'm like, fuck that. When I open them up, I'm like, you're part of the display. They're
Yeah.
elites. Those are the ones I fucking collecting for $5 instead of 20.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure.
and I've come across some deals like that, like over there in my Star Wars section. You can't see them, but the Black Stormtroopers, I would pick them up $5 a piece, dude. And to army build, it's fucking epic, dude. I
Well,
couldn't
especially if
imagine
you're because like if you're paying, you know,
$20 a fig, dude.
yeah, if you're
I
paying
have
like
six of them.
yeah, if you're paying like 15, 20 for one, and now all of a sudden you can get like 4 or 5 for the same price, it's like why wouldn't you? Like for sure, get on that.
Dude, $30 instead of 120. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like I've gotten some deals. But before we get too off course, we are going to be talking about Triple H. We're going to break down his career and talking about some of the like 6 of the not greatest, but our favorite matches. Ryan picked 3, I picked 3, and we'll go through his career. But I wanted to touch on yesterday. Yesterday was the comeback, the 4-5, as you would say. Jordan came back with the 4-5 when he came back
That's
out
right,
of
he
town.
did.
Um, but yesterday the UFC started business again. They had their first pay per view back from COVID. It's been damn like 10 weeks. It's been
It was like
it's
March
about to be 2 months. So
14th
it's
or something
yeah
like that. Yeah.
yeah it's about to be 2 months soon. But they came back before that. Florida made WWE an essential business. So the UFC followed suit and they took their business over there. I think they had a performance center over there anyway. So they were good to go. And they followed regulations and they did what they had to do. And they put on an incredible card for UFC fans, for MMA fans, and for for the world. If you're an MMA fan, you had something to do yesterday.
Yeah.
I did everything I needed to do before. I did it by 4 o'clock. I went out. I bought what I had to buy. I got my food ready. I was doing everything I had to do to be ready to go, so I could watch all the prelims, even the two before
Like
on
the
Fight
early
Pass,
yeah, yeah.
everything on ESPN and the pay per view. I wasn't gonna miss it. I was gonna have a fight companion, but these guys flaked out. I had blunts ready. I had snacks ready. I had everything ready, and they flaked out, so they missed out on that. But I didn't miss the fights, and even though I watched it by myself and it wasn't a fight companion due to COVID, still, uh, awesome job by the UFC to entertain the fans and putting on a great card up and down.
I'm interested in seeing the buy rates that they did
Hmm.
because I can see a lot of people not wanting to go out would might be purchasing it. You know, like you can't go to bars to watch it, so and you don't, not a lot of people wouldn't want to go to a friend's house, or maybe because of family reasons that they prefer to not. Someone else may prefer that they don't go, so you may have been stuck at home. Like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just plop down the money this one time and get it. Yeah,
Like I popped them out a couple days ago on my desk just to get excited for
just to get
this, and I
ready.
watched a bunch of the matches. So I had
That's
I
that
had
one's
these
dope.
figures in front of me,
I love that one.
and it's ring accurate. Like the ring gear is accurate on the inside.
Is that like a plastic material or
Yeah. I wish it was
more like a clothy?
yeah. I appreciate more of the clothy material, which you do get a clothy material
Yeah, I was gonna
on the
say like
Hunter Hearst
that.
Hemsley, so that's good. But no, his is plastic. It comes off though real easy, like the button. It just
Oh,
pops
okay,
off.
just pops off.
Yeah, and then the head comes off too, and you get a ball Triple H. But it's
Yeah,
pretty ring attire accurate.
nice. Yeah.
By watching we actually saw the match. Where's the other Triple H? I have the Fig Arts one with me too. I didn't pop out the other one because he was kind of dug behind Shawn Michaels and Sean Waltman, X Pac, because he's the DX
Oh,
one I
he's
have.
the right.
But I also have this Fig Arts one, which came with interchangeable faces. So he's got a bunch of faces that I can change. And
That's that's the Hunter I grew up on right there. Like that's my probably my favorite, which we'll probably get to eventually. But
mhm.
that era Triple H is my favorite.
Yeah, so I have a couple I guess I have 4 Triple H's, and I'm going to get the Ultimate Triple H once he drops down in price. But
One
he's like $30 right now. I
that's
do
the one with
have
the mesh.
Ronda over there, which
That's
what?
the one with the mesh shirt, sort of
Yeah, the mesh
the
shirt, the
chainmail
weird
rather.
hat, the big belt, the after Winged Eagle,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and water bottle, sledgehammer. The same era Triple H I have in Fig Arts, but just up to scale and Ultimate Edition. I've actually upgraded. So I haven't opened up Ronda, but I have Ronda Ultimate Edition on the side.
Oh,
I think
she
I want to
came
do an
in.
unboxing. And I ordered Shinsuke. He was $17. I couldn't pass up Shinsuke Ultimate Edition for $17
Yeah,
out of
that's not bad.
30. So he's coming in the mail soon. I don't know if I want to wait. Maybe I'll just do an unboxing for Ronda and then do an unboxing for him. Show off some of my ultimates. But they're coming in. I do need to add more toy show material. But back to the fights real quick. I just want to touch on them. Thanks to the UFC for doing that. But Gaethje upset Tony Ferguson. Crazy ass fight. He beat the shit out of him in the feet. It was kind of competitive for the first couple. Not even.
Whoa, yeah.
Gaethje was just winning. Connor.
I'm gonna need a wrap. I'm gonna need a ball and a face and balls.
I can't hear
We
anything.
need, we need, we need a bunny rabbit.
Okay, they gotta find the bunny rabbit.
Ramblin' Rabbit.
The wascally wabbit.
No, they're gonna find Ramblin' Rabbit from the toy Bray Wyatt's thing.
Daddy.
Oh yeah.
I do have a diaper.
Oh, you have a
Yeah, you
diaper.
should have those
That's great.
lying around. How are the
Did you
kiddos
find-
doing?
No.
They're alive. They survived the weekend with me, so there's that.
That's awesome.
So
I needed.
I'm gonna force them to watch wrestling. RASSLIN.
no, I put that on in the kitchen on my little tablet.
We will play something else
It's like,
Yeah,
Dad, can you make me a dippy egg? Sure. Like 3 hours later, here's your egg. I had to find the chicken, hatch the egg. Nah, man, we had a nice little, daddy kid weekend. It was fun. So
Nice.
good times, and then I got
Hard
I got
times, Daddy.
I got my stuff in when they were in bed sleeping. So and they're back.
I need these.
Okay, you got
They
it.
need those. Come on, Brian.
I might.
Yeah, get your.
do my nails.
Mommy's gonna do your nails. Love it.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun.
This is Pecans, baby.
Okay, yep. Take the baby chair. I'll close the door.
They grow up so quick, Ryan. Enjoy these moments.
Oh, I know.
Because then they grow up to be teenagers and they're fucking assholes.
Carla's gonna be 6 and 12 days.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, goddamn.
Don't attend to that because then, they're going to be like, screw you,
Well, she-
Dad. I hate you.
What do you mean 10 years? She's been saying that
She says that
already.
now.
The other, what? Who? I forget what happened. I said something like, "Oh," I said, "Carla, can you come over here and just pick up the Lego that you dropped?" And she's like, "Fuck you." I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, like, hey.
Like, I brought you into this world. Take you right back out.
Fuck you, Daddy. All right? I'm your
Yeah,
dad.
at least throw the word "dad" in there or something. Like anything, just not like just.
Sorry, I'm putting.
Rage Against the Machine over there. She fuck you. I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah, fuck him. Sorry, I'm putting on Triple H's clothes.
No worries. But Gaethje. I was telling you before, I didn't get to see them fights, but from what I saw in highlights and from what I've been reading, it's I guess Ferguson just took a beating and just took a licking and kept on ticking until he could no longer.
Ferguson thought his funky style was gonna be enough, and like when he was like, I guess angling off or like coming off of his punches or like his trying to like combo and then like trying to angle off all weird, he was actually leaving himself in positions to take shots to the chin, and it was he has an iron chin though. I'll give him
nothing
that.
against Tony. He's not my favorite fighter.
Mm-hmm.
How
dare you?
And a 9-10 fight win streak that he was on going into that.
12, I think.
If you go back and you look at some of those fights, I mean, Lando Venata caught him and almost finished him in the first. Kevin Lee has caught him. He didn't necessarily look wobbly, but he's been hit in fights, and it was just a matter of the right person hitting him and him thinking that he can take the punch. And Gaethje's that guy that you don't want to let him have that chance to give you that punch because he can end you. I mean, like I said, props to him for going to, what was it, the 4th round before the TKO. But I mean, he lasted as long as he could.
Yeah.
And you just gotta give him props for that. I wonder. I was reading about the weight cutting. I wonder how much that actually did affect him. Cutting weight twice in 3 weeks, was it?
He was trying to get Gaethje to do it, so it did affect him somewhat.
Yeah, like he was like, because I remember him saying like, what, the fight's not happening, but I'm cutting weight. It's like, why would you cut the weight? Like it makes no sense.
You do it too. Why, you dumbass?
Yeah, like I'm gonna sit here and do it. Like I'm gonna take 3 weeks to cut this weight. You want to do it in 1 week and then put weight on and cut it again? Go for it. But yeah, like that's not like. I mean, who knows? That could have been it. Training for Khabib and then switching it up to Gaethje and then that fight being postponed. Like there was a lot that was whirling around Ferguson rather going into that fight. Like there was a lot of things that were changing, but at day's end it doesn't matter because he showed up, he was on point with weight. So that at that point to me it's your style, it's your game plan. Your game plan was like you said, I have an iron chin. I can get hit. Well, eventually you're gonna get hit by that one guy that's gonna be like, oh, that felt a little different than the last one.
Yeah, he was just getting hit too much. You saw his face. He was super cut up.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he looked. That was probably one of the worst I've ever seen him after a fight.
Yeah, and Tony got hit a couple times where like his legs just went out from under him, and like, ugh. Like he didn't get put out. The ref actually just stepped in and like,
yeah,
like,
he just
no
said, I
more.
can't let you go on anymore.
Yeah, it's not even like Tony dropped it. Like he's too tough for his own good. He was just taking a beating, and like his whereabouts weren't with him just from the beating he took. Like he just
right, yeah, and you can kind of see that if he lasted like going to the 5th round, was he going to pull it out, kind of thing? You know what I mean? The referee. That's the one thing with the referee. The referee has to decide like what happens if I let this go. Like, is he going to get seriously injured? Is he going to pull off the miracle comeback? Like, there's so many things that can happen. It's an if and but sport sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But from, like I said, I haven't sat down and watched the whole fight, but from what I have seen, it didn't look like Tony was going to win any judges' scorecards.
No, 100% he wasn't. You're right. Fantastic card though. Anything else on that? I was just gonna say Cejudo.
I was just gonna say, what was your thoughts on the Cruz stoppage? Because Dominic Cruz was saying, I haven't seen that too much, but he was saying how he was getting into the stand-up position when the referee stopped it, and he thought that was a little BS, and said the referee smelled like cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah. So, it's. I don't disagree with the referee stoppage because Cruz took like 10 unanswered hits to the head and his hands were on the mat. I know he was trying to get up, and I know that's the way to get up, but those were unanswered shots nonetheless. You should have got up faster.
Okay.
No,
Lesnar took like 21 unanswered from the same car win.
And it all depends on the ref. I guess you're gonna be the guy that lets Lesnar get punched in the face a million times and then comes back and submits Shane in the second round or whatever. Or you're gonna stop it after 10 hits to the face.
Exactly. Yeah.
He stopped it because like there was no, and it's weird because if he would have stopped at 5 before, Cruz would have been on his knees and it would have looked a lot worse. When he stopped it, when Cruz was already in position, he already had taken the 10 shots and he had gotten.
And that's one of those things like Cejudo is he's an okay wrestler, I guess we could say, where, just as you're getting hit as you're standing up your feet with him, he has potential just to take you down if he wants to and continue the damage. So from that point, like I see what you mean. Like with him standing up, it looks a little weaker, but to that point, like, yeah, I guess Cejudo could have just kept the onslaught happening.
If it would have been 5 before, like I think it would have been a little bit more justifiable because he would have been on his knees with hands on the canvas. The ref stopped it like as they were getting up, so yeah, it was a little bit more weak of a stoppage. I saw the damage taken already, like there was 10 hits to the head, so I understand why.
Right.
Again, it's subjective to the ref. The ref.
I think. Cejudo. I was never a TJ Dillashaw fan, and I was pissed off that TJ got knocked out because he lost to Cejudo. Right? Like Cejudo's just that guy that everyone hates, no matter if he will win or lose or what. Right? Like it's always like.
I hate him, dude. I was here at the event in Chicago when he beat Marlon, and everyone around us is like, yeah, woo, and me and Toucan are like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like we're like Mariah's almost won this fucking fight, and now we just got the fuck out.
I put onto the Full Heel page there this morning. Like at least Cejudo got to retire in front of all of his fans.
Yeah.
I mean, like normally when someone's like they put their gloves down or they announce their retirement, everyone gets a standing ovation. So Cejudo's like, I'm retiring. I'm gonna go be with my woman. I think she wants to have a family. Then he looks at Dana White, gives him like a thumbs up of like, Dana doesn't even care. Yeah, Dana's like, great, now I got 2 new titles I got to try and promote. Like,
yeah, it was. I don't like the guy because he's cringy, and
he tries too hard.
I like the guy, man. He's Mexican American, Olympic medalist. Kurt fucking Angle endorsed him before the match. He gave him a fucking promo.
I would have, I don't
know if you saw that, Ryan. He
I didn't. I have to go and check that out
on the pay-per-view. Yeah, no, he talks about the 3 eyes, and He's like, it took me till I was 20 something, and this guy did it at 19 years old, and you know. And,
My issue with him has always been his like he was doing very well in the sport before he started trying to cut these promos, and he saw. I mean, nothing against him. He saw what happened with Connor when Connor started talking. He started making the big money. Same thing with Colby Covington. These guys try to be Chael and Connor do this natural bad guy gimmick, and everyone tries to follow that because they think that's going to get them money and get them the big paydays and get them the title shots. But sometimes when you talk, it hurts you more. Like people don't care about you anymore. They don't want to see your fights. They'll tune out.
Chael Sonnen and Connor are guys, and by that I mean they can go in a locker room and command the locker room and be comfortable and shoot the shit and tell the jokes, and they're the guys that fucking had everyone around them because they were the entertainment. Like even if they're not the guys that are the ones that are fighting, they're still the entertainers no matter what. Like if they weren't fighters, they'd be entertaining their friends in their group of circle or whatever.
And you look at like a guy like Connor, where when he lost to Khabib, when he lost to Diaz, like he took the booze and he just walked with it and he said his thing. You look at Colby Covington when he lost to Usman after talking all that nonsense. His comeback was, "Oh, whatever the referee did." Like it's like no, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
you don't get to play the heel and then blame someone. Like no, that's not how it works. Like. You talk the talk, now you got to eat it.
That's you get to do that in wrestling because that's wrestling. This is a fight. The fight happened. You played your heel.
Yeah, you played your role.
Goes out the window when the fight happens.
The second you get knocked out, you don't get to say the referee did something. The referee did this, or my weight cut was that. Joanna, another thing, tried to like badmouth everyone that she fought. She gets in the ring with Rose. Rose knocks her out. She's like, "My weight cut sucked. My camp didn't help me." Like, no.
It was my team.
You try Ronda Rousey. Same thing. These people that try too hard.
Hey, bro, I got her action figure. Don't be talking shit about Ronda Rousey.
The only reason you got that action figure is because she talked too much smack to Holly Holm.
No, the only reason I got that action figure is because it dropped down $18 instead of 30. So.
Fair enough.
It was super on sale for an Ultimate Edition, super articulated figure. I got like 3 figures. It's got 3 heads. I got put the jacket on and the skirt.
Well, and then you have the different. That's what I said to Kara. Like when my Bret Hart came in, she's like, "You got a figure for like $35?"
That's like no. Parents / wives.
That's what I told her. I'm like, Kara, technically there's 3 heads and 3 hands, so that's 9 different figures. Plus there's a coat. So I mean that's another like 3 and 3. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you see the
glasses with no jacket.
15 figures here, you know. And now look, I take my Stone Cold, I take this belt, and now there's belts on. Like possibilities are endless here, Kara. It might look like this much, but in actuality,
I can have Bret Hart with a belt, jacket, no glasses, and then next time I can have him with the glasses, the belt, and the jacket. And guess what? Just ring gear, no glasses, no jacket, no belt, all of that. Like what? Get out of here! You're retarded.
Oh no, that's 100. I've come out of this room sometimes from recording and be like, "Oh man, Raph, show me this and show me that," and she's just like, "Man, you and Raph seem to get together and hang out." I'm like, "No, because then I'll just get jealous of his toys and I'll go bankrupt buying new toys all the time."
That's what I tell Jesus. I'm like, "Have you seen what you've done, Jesus? Now I want to buy everything." I'm like, "Now I want to buy $170 Hasbro Razor Ramon toy that I don't even like because it's old and it's like Razor Ramon toy, and I love Razor Ramon."
Well, that's like the thing with me is I on Instagram I've been following these like old school wrestling toy pages and I'm just like, oh, they're in the box and they so occasionally they're like, yo, this is up for sale. I'm like, can't justify $75 for a figure that was like $3 back in the day. However, I didn't have the $3 when I was a kid, but I have the $75 now. So
that's why I'm not gonna have kids, so I can buy my toys.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom's like, "When are you gonna have kids already?" You're like, "I don't know. There's a lot of toys out there I want."
Ma, see the toys up there? I am the kid.
Yeah. Why would I have him? He's gonna play with all of them. Fuck
it. You're like telling him like nightmare stories. Like, listen, Ryan had this awesome figure. He had a kid. Gone.
Yeah, I'm like, I seen what happens. All right.
Yeah.
Like I let my nieces up here, but very, very visualized by me. I keep an eye on them. Like,
you're like handcuffs, just your. That's what I started doing that stupid line like when I put my Bret Hart out and I put my Stone Cold beside it. I would get a little set up, and like Connor's like, "Daddy, can I see?" I'm like, "You see with your eyes. Put the hands down." Like,
I tell them, if you want to see a figure, let me get it for you because you will knock down all of them in the display. Then I got to spend the fucking half an hour. Sometimes it's cool though. I could rearrange them.
At least your nieces don't walk up from like eating a snack and have like peanut butter jelly
not
fingers
allowed.
and be like, "Can I touch that?" You're like,
Nope,
go.
They know.
Get
They're
out
not
of
allowed
here.
up here unless I let them. They actually, and it's cool of them. They actually ask me like, "Hey Theo, can we go see your action figures with you?" And I'll be like, "All right, let's go see them." And like they'll look at the toys and like, "You have a lot." And I'm like, "God damn right." One more thing. I know it's already like 40 minutes in. We just been fucking shooting the shit. We're over here supposed to be talking about Triple H and all his great matches. I wanted to get to this before we moved on. Last thing. So I don't know how many people listen to your mom's house. As you can tell, I have a picture with me as my profile picture of me and Tom Segura. On the last episode of Your Mom's House, Tom Segura said wrestling fans are retards, and he berated them, and he called them this, that, and the other, and we should be exterminated. And I've seen a lot of stuff out there, a lot of hate, a lot of, like wrestling fans being offended. And here's what I'm going to say on that, because I have a picture with Tom Segura up there, and I've gone to his shows for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, you saw me 3 or 4 years in a row at one point, I think. I remember you saying.
And I probably would have gone this year unless COVID stops that. Here's my take on it. I love wrestling. I love Tom Segura. And I love jokes. And that's that.
Yeah.
They're jokes. So.
I always used to tell people in high school, people would come up and they're like, "Oh my God, you still watch wrestling?" I'm like, "Hell yeah." And they're like, "But it's fake." Yeah. And I remember I look at them, I'm like, "You saw that new Spider-Man movie, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Spider-Man real?" That's it. Mm-hmm. Everything, 90% of things that people like is fake. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, I watch boxing." I'm like, "Yeah, because boxing has never been fixed ever." Like, come on, guys. Like, you can throw it around all you want about it's scripted, it's fake, it's entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, people... Like Joe Rogan. Remember Joe Rogan used to do the exact same thing. He used to make fun of wrestling fans, and him and Tony Hinchcliffe sat down and watched like a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble, and he's like,
Joe was laughing his ass
off. Joe even says, like, "It's not for me, but I get it." Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Oh, no, dude, Tom just like but that's how Tom's comedy is. Tom is like attack. Like he's like, "Oh, this,
yeah."
Like that's what he does, and that's exactly what he did.
He goes for the reaction.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I was listening to it this week, and like I didn't hear him be like, "I'm outraged." At times I was like, "Man, fuck you, Tom. I love wrestling." Like he
started burning his posters.
But I'm like, "You fucking jerk." I did have like little like, for a second, you do have that because I do love wrestling, but it's like, I'm not gonna go unsubscribe from the podcast and stop listening to it because he doesn't like wrestling and he wanted to get a kick out of it.
Everyone has
now,
their own,
COVID's out and about.
Their own things, right? Like.
Yeah. COVID's out and about. He needs something to hate on right now. Wrestling. Look, here's how I look at it. Wrestling is made essential. It's a form of entertainment. Guess what's not essential right now? That's a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yep. I know that's the thing, that these comedians, they got to do stuff and say things to stay relevant because they can't go on tour. So they got to get their names out there so people be like, "Oh, did you hear what so and so said?" Because you need to keep your name fresh so that the audiences I don't want to say don't forget about you, but you want to make sure that the audience keeps you in their mind fresh so that when things are lifted and you want to drop tickets, people want to go and see you, right? Like, plus it gives you more material to work with. Joe Rogan's whole vegan thing started off as like a dumb joke on his podcast, and he ended up doing like a huge bit on it in his most recent stand-up special there. So it is what it is. I mean, worse things in life have been said by comedians. This year alone with Kobe Bryant and was it Ari Shaffir? I mean, they've said a lot worse things. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is.
Yeah, Ari. To be fair, Ari does that all the time. But they're comedians.
But that's it. Like I get it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like people, I love when people watch we're watching fucking Game of Thrones. We're like, oh, how do you watch wrestling? I'm like, you watch a show about dragons. You don't judge me watching wrestling.
Hey, I love a show about dragons. All right, that's a good show.
Well, that's it, right? There's nothing against it, right? Like, you want to watch a show with this? I'll watch a show with that.
It reminds me of Elder Scrolls. God damn it! All right. All right.
And that's the podcast.
Yeah.
On that note, good night.
Yeah, no. I guess we should move on and start talking about Triple H. We've already digressed enough, shot the shit. I don't know. I guess a lot happened this week. There was a lot happening this week, I guess. And Money in the Bank's later too, so you know.
And what? Sorry.
Money in the Bank's later too.
Yeah.
Money. So let's
come back tonight.
Born Paul Michael Levensky. What?
Levesque. French. I got this, guys.
July 27th, 1969. He made his wrestling debut in 1992 in the IWF as Terrorizing. I thought that was his name in WCW, but apparently it wasn't. He was Jean-Paul Levesque in WCW in
I want to
94.
say he was Terrorizing early in WCW, like 1 or 2 matches max. Because I can swear I remember like a Saturday night, WCW Saturday night, where he was up like that.
I think they probably switched him right away.
Yeah, when they realized, like, ah, shit, guys, we can't have Hulk Hogan versus Terrorizing.
Yeah, so after Terrorizing, he became Jean-Paul Levesque in WCW. And then Hunter Hearst Helmsley in 1995, where he made his debut in the WWF.
And the fun fact, his first WWF match ever was against Buck Zumhoff. If you want to feel down about yourself, go read about what Buck Zumhoff did in the early 2000s. Because he had a pretty good, I think it was AWA history.
AWA?
Pardon?
AWA?
Yeah, I think he was in AWA for a while. There was a lot of rumors about him and underage girls.
Oh no!
And then he moved back home to be with his daughter. And about 15 years after moving back home to be closer to his daughter, he's been in jail ever since. Okay. So that's the Triple H's first WWF opponent. You can see it on the network; they have it there. And I think he actually was one of the Undertaker's first opponents too when he signed with the Federation.
So he makes his Raw debut May 22nd, 1995, as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the Blue Blood. I guess Hunter Hearst Helmsley was kind of just a take from his WCW character of Jean-Paul Levesque.
They really worked his name and his birth area. They really tried to make him look like he's like that hoity-toity, like you said, blue blood, super rich kind of character.
So he came in 95 after the Royal Rumble, so in May. His first really big pay-per-view appearance, I guess, would be SummerSlam. Who did he take on? Did I write down who he took on at SummerSlam? Against Bob Holly. He actually beats Bob Holly in one of the opening matches. It wasn't even a dark match, so he actually beats Bob Holly in a pay-per-view match. His next big pay-per-view debut, or I guess his WrestleMania debut is what I wrote down. I'm pretty sure it came out like In Your House or something.
Yeah.
That year for 96 would have been him getting squashed by the Ultimate Warrior. But the only reason that happened was because of the whole click thing.
Yep. Yeah, the Madison Square Garden. Curtain call. That's right. That's that was because he was going to be king of the ring in 96. They were high on Triple H the second that they signed him. You could see why eventually when you see his athleticism and what he could actually do. There's no surprise as to why they wanted to push him so hard so fast. And it's kind of funny that the only reason why he ended up becoming a member of the Clique is because he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, and X-Pac and Scott Hall, Nash, and Michaels have all said, like, when he wanted to hang out, and they're like, you want a beer? He's like, I don't drink. And they're like, what? We got a full-time DD? They're like, let's go. And kind of funny, he ends up getting into this Clique and makes his career out of it, but it also almost destroyed his career before it took off.
Yeah, it almost did. But I think they knew what they had on their hands because quickly they They turned that around. They had a debut. Well, they didn't debut. They had valets come out with him, but they had Sable come out with him, and other hot girls come out with him until they debuted China February 6, 1997. In Your House, the Final Four. That was the name of it. But it was Triple H versus Goldust.
Did we skip over the first match?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, that's actually a good call. Good call, Ryan. It was your match. Sorry. Yeah, we skipped over it because he does win. He does win his first I didn't write it down because we should have just jumped into it. That's why.
Yeah.
He wins his first gold October 21st, 1996 on a Raw against Mark Mero. Mark Mero's Intercontinental Champion. I'll let you take it from there, Ryan.
And so the backstory here for this one is the valets that you were mentioning. Every time during the match, Mr. Perfect would come out and he would, they would grab his arm and they would walk away with Mr. Perfect. And it was constantly like, what the fuck? Like, why did they, why is this happening all the time? So they had the match set up and Hunter ends up attacking Mr. Perfect backstage. And so Triple H comes up for his match and Mr. Perfect's music hits, comes out with Mero and Sable. And he's like, doctors won't let me. Or Grim Monsoon was there. Grim Monsoon says, I can't let him wrestle. His knees. Hunter's like, I don't believe it. I want you. Blah blah blah. Miss Perfect says, I can't do it, but I got this guy right here. He's a great guy. He'll take this match. And Hunter's like, nope, I want you. The only way I'm taking on him is if it's for the title. And the title was on the line. Perfect goes ringside to do commentary with Vince and Jerry the King Lawler. And if anyone hasn't seen like Mark Mero and Triple H, they had a very small little run in '96. But they definitely had some ability to put on a great match. It's unfortunate that Mero didn't last a bit longer. I think
they had such good chemistry. They go on the Survivor Series and they have Team Mero versus Team Hunter.
Mm-hmm. They had a great. Even when Mero turns into the boxer gimmick, they could have. I'm surprised they didn't try something else with Mero then. When you put Mero into the Nation, this is jumping ahead a couple of years. But you could see in this match how well they mixed together. And I don't know too much about early WCW. Like perhaps those two guys did have matches there, and that's before the WWF. But it was a fantastic match. Hunter goes for a chair. Referee's knocked out. Mr. Perfect takes the chair from him. And in a really weird chair spot, they used the bottom of the chair, not the top of the chair. But to Perfect's credit, he hit Mero nice and clean with it. Sable's going crazy. And Mr. Perfect helps Triple H get his first title reign in WWF as the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. The white strap Intercontinental Champion, too.
Mm-hmm. And he ends up holding that for up until I think February when he loses it to The Rock on. It might have been Raw Thursday. I'm not too sure. Yeah, not even The Rock.
Yeah, not yet The Rock. All right. So China debuts later on, or beginning of
early '97.
Beginning of '97, February '97. She debuts as Hunter's bodyguard because she comes out and I think picks up Marlena and fucking
just ragdolls her.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I think we've gone over this a couple times on.
And they did a really good job telling of the story in that too, because they would show her on Raw and like after the pay-per-view, she made her debut at the pay-per-view. Then following it on Raw, and then a couple weeks after that, she's in the crowd and you see security taking her away. So like, back in the mid to late '90s. You knew wrestling was kind of scripted in that, but there was still like that, who is this girl? Like the security took her away after she attacked Marlena. Now she shows up at another event and then security's taking her away. So they are trying to sell the point that why is she there? And then of course it all gets figured out that she's with Hunter, which it was a fun little, like Goldust and Hunter had a nice little run, and the addition of China added a lot of development to that story, and it really helped propel Hunter going forward.
Oh yeah, China was a great help for Hunter's career. Definitely got him ahead, having that big old bodyguard, the ninth wonder of the world.
Well, especially because when you think about how often does a guy come out to the ring with a bodyguard? Not, fairly often. How often is that bodyguard a girl? Never. So instantly you have this kind of pompous blue blood royal guy getting protected by his super big bodyguard that's a female. So it's like, how can I hate this guy even more? I know he has a girl protecting him. It's such, you wouldn't see that. So you wouldn't have Ronda Rousey make her debut being like, like Shawn Michaels valet / bodyguard. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't work. But for China and Triple H back then, it worked beautifully.
Yeah, especially with that Hunter Hearst Helmsley heel character that he was playing. And you did want to hate him.
I liked him a lot up until China, and I was like, oh, come on, man, you were so badass. Now why you were such a badass? Why you don't need help?
All right, the next match won't be till like 2000, right? So we can go.
Yeah, we got a while here. The DX days I think we're quiet.
Yeah. I didn't pick any DX day matches because I think we could save DX for its own fucking episode if we wanted to.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I do have a Hunter DX. I just didn't pull him out because, like I said, Shawn and X-Pac are in front of him. Then I had to move him, and
Yeah.
He actually winds up winning King of the Ring in '97, so they go back to the original plan a year later.
And around SummerSlam '96, not to go back and forth, but he starts off this feud with Mankind.
Have a nice day.
And ends up even, that's the King of the Ring final, and like they you talk about The Rock and Hunter had a long history. People don't realize how long Mankind and Triple H had a history going too.
Yeah.
And he was always, Mankind let him, to win King of the Ring, he beat him with the scepter, like unmercilessly, just whipped him with the, and then gets the pinfall. He puts the crown on, it's all dented. He holds up the scepter, it's broken in half. It's like,
yeah, because they'll go on to him and Mankind. Pronouns, pal. Triple H and Mankind. He beats Mankind to King of the Ring, like you said, with the scepter. And then in your house, Triple H beats or fights Mankind to a double count out. That's July 6th. And then at SummerSlam, Triple H versus Mankind. He's still Hunter Hearst Helmsley at this. So it's a pretty good span through from June to August, so a couple months there.
And slowly they start putting up. This is now right after SummerSlam is when you start getting into the Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, and Bret's going to taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley in a match, and then okay, well, what's going on here? Why, Shawn's kind of helping out, and then yet the DX is born from that, and from there is
when was the screw job?
November '97.
November '97.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is the same year that China joined him, so he's got China with him, and so it's him, China, Rude, and HBK.
Yeah,
that's the original.
Yeah, because I think Rude was the insurance policy they called him, because he was the guy that when things got bad, he would be like your Ric Flair, interfere in the match kind of thing to make sure that Shawn Michaels would win. Yeah, it was, and it was the screw job that resulted in Rick Rude leaving to WCW because he was so loyal to Bret and thought that what they did to him was so shitty. And then he was. Then after Shawn got the title, this is where he ends up with the European title on. If you haven't had a chance to check out the December 23rd or 20th to 23rd Raw from '97, Shawn versus Triple H for the European title. Masterpiece. You want to talk about the finger poke of doom? That's how you do the finger poke of doom, people. Are you familiar with that match?
No.
So
they're the one where he's fucking like dancing around or like.
Well, they're getting all ready to fight, and like China jumps on the apron and trying to help out Hunter, and so they stop the match. Like the bell rings, and it takes like 3-4 minutes, and they're getting ready to go, and Shawn just goes, and he pokes him, I want to say, or he maybe just, and then Triple H pokes Shawn, he falls to the ground, and Hunter just runs the ropes back and forth like 4 or 5, 6 times. And then just drops to his knee and pins him. That's it. But it's how you do the finger poke of doom. You do it comically. because they wanted to fuck over the fans. So this is DX staying heel that they did, and I think that's probably where they got the idea for the Hogan Nash finish before it all fell apart. But if you have a chance, it's like it'll take like 7 minutes of your time. I recommend people go to watch that because this was DX at their best, screw authority kind of height. It was I don't know, it was so much fun. It stands up to me, 23 years later. Remember watching it live, like it was just one of those moments. I don't know. It wasn't anything historic. It was just fun.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was sharing the links to this. Yeah, no, I do remember that now that you talk about it. The one where
it was him. It was the way that he was running the ropes, right? Because he was almost like high stepping it.
Yeah.
Really, really milking it, and the crowd's like starting to get like, oh, come on! Like we thought we were gonna see DX implode, kind of thing. That's what they wanted to see, and you end up with this amazing story of like, yeah, we pulled one over on you guys yet again.
So he has him, Sean China have a run as DX. Rick Rude takes off to WCW, being one of the only people to be on both WCW Nitro and Raw on the same day.
Yeah, because that was when the Raw was taped every couple of weeks, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that happened, and then Sean gets injured, and that's when the other members get added, right? X-Pac, and then
it was after that WrestleMania when Sean drops the belt to Austin. The next night, Triple H brings X-Pac in, and then the Outlaws join, and then they're going to start their. Well, I guess it's only a year. It seems a lot longer, but by WrestleMania 15 is when
they're done, right?
Hunter turns on X-Pac and joins the corporation. So it seemed a lot longer, but it was pretty much just the summer of '98 that was DX in the Nation. And oh man, there were some fantastic DX in the Nation moments and matches. Some controversial today, but back then it didn't matter. Like the blackface incident from Raw, the Nation of Degeneration. Mizark Henry.
Yeah, Mizark Henry. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a little controversial.
Just a little.
No, they had a lot of fun and some amazing matches, like the ladder match, the 2 out of 3 falls match. For the Intercontinental. I mean, Triple H and The Rock brought the Intercontinental title almost up to the same level that Austin had elevated the WWF Championship over that summer. Because when those two were going back and forth, you didn't want to miss the Intercontinental title match. That's how good these guys were. I mean, you want to talk Triple H and The Rock are fighting for the Intercontinental title. Like, that's how stacked WWF was back then.
Yeah. When does he marry Steph? Is it 99?
03.
03. Well, kayfabe?
In kayfabe, 99 2000.
Yeah, 99 2000, right? So he's still DX is broken up.
DX breaks up, but they get back together. They're a heel faction, and she like it starts off kind of like the McMahon Helmsley regime, but it's like it's basically just DX plus Stephanie instead of DX in China.
Yeah, for
the most part, like it's.
Because this is kind of where we see a run for Triple H, kind of like where he starts picking people. Well, not picking people off, but having awesome matches with people that'll cement him as one of the best heels of our era. Kind of like a Ric Flair of our era, more of a modern day new era Ric Flair, where he plays the heel part that we all need.
That's that basically is the best way to look at it. Like people hate on Cena because he would always get the wins over Rusev and Bray and that kind of stuff, right, and bury them. Hunter was doing it also, but he was doing it as the heel, which was expected. Yeah. And I think that kind of gets forgotten a bit. Some of the guys that didn't really get a chance at the title or any title because of how long Hunter was going with it.
Yeah. In '99, he gets defeated by The Rock a bunch, Austin a bunch, McMahon a couple times. There's got to be some
Yeah, well,
shady
yeah,
shit there.
the McMahon one, that was the best one. That was the SmackDown debut
Hmm.
where McMahon wins the title.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He put over the boss.
Yeah. And then moving into 2000, we have the epic Royal Rumble match between him and Cactus Jack. And then the No Way Out cage match, the Hell in a Cell match, where Cactus Jack flies again through the top and then breaks the ring. We also have that. So he's getting some wins. He's getting some notoriety. He's accumulating championships. At WrestleMania 2000, he defeats The Rock. At Backlash, he takes on The Rock again, beats The Rock. Oh no, he lost to The Rock actually at Backlash. Sorry, but like I said,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that's where Austin comes
yeah,
back. That's right.
Triple H is the one that wins, loses, wins, loses. He was a Ric Flair. That's why he had so many title runs. That actually meant something because he had rivalries against guys that they would last over time and over pay-per-views. Like I just mentioned right now, the two Cactus Jack ones. He
I would say
gives one,
that the
takes
only
one from
kind
The
of
Rock.
I was gonna say that the only kind of cheap thing about those, like, they were fun because it was a back and forth thing, but it's just like The Rock gets the title after Triple H has this 4 or 5 month run. Rock gets it, and you're thinking, okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next month, leading into sorry, not leading into the month after that, it's your match, the Iron Man match.
Yeah. Well, they have so WrestleMania 2000. After Triple H defeats Cactus Jack in the Hell in a Cell match, we have Triple H versus The Rock. Triple H wins. At Backlash, Triple H gets beat by The Rock, but then a month later in May, at Judgment Day, Triple H beats The Rock for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like a good set of months where we have good rivalries between.
And that was
guys.
that was your match, right?
Yes, which will lead into. Oh shit! Sorry, I gave up the. We're gonna have to go back and edit that. God damn it, Ryan! You should have stopped me, bro. No, yeah, but my match is the Judgment Day match. I keep on skipping over the matches. Was it Judgment Day? Yeah, Judgment Day.
Yeah, the
May
Judgment Day.
2000. Triple H versus The Rock. Guest referee is HBK. They think there's going to be a little shady business. It's the McMahon-Hensley alliance, but they think HBK, since he's friends with Triple H, is going to give him help during the match.
Right.
So the Iron Man match, everyone knows what that is. It consists of an hour-long match. The most falls wins, and opposed to, I don't know if this is the second one that we've had, but I think the first one was it HBK Bret Hart.
That one was
definitely the most popular one.
It's the most popular, being a WrestleMania, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they've done them on like a SmackDown or a Raw, like they just kind of like throw it in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that this is probably like the next biggest. Well, the one that I remember the most.
Yeah.
Would be this one.
Yeah, and it's a little bit, well, not a little bit. It's almost completely different. Where you have HBK and Bret Hart having 0 falls each till the end, and it goes into overtime. This one, you have it, what is it, like 10 falls? 11 falls? I think if you count the last one, it's 11.
6-5 was the final, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you had The Rock hits a rock bottom and a pin like 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, damn, like they're not. And they did it's the thing that, like, when you play the video games and you have an Iron Man match, always pissed me off. You hit a guy with a chair, you get disqualified. They get a point. Then the guy stands up. But here, Triple H hits The Rock with a chair. Rock gets the fall for disqualification. Hunter's like, fuck it, I'll pin him.
Yeah.
Now I get the fall also. Like, so whatever. Now we're still even. I'm still like they did a good job kind of going back, like when The Rock was really hurt, the Triple H would get 2 quick falls. And then when Triple H was hurt, The Rock would get 2 quick falls. So like they did a good job in that aspect in telling the story, because it's much more realistic than you pin him. Okay, now you can't pin him again until he stands up. Like, what? No, like that's so stupid. Like,
yeah, he's hurt, so I'm taking advantage of him being hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it starts off with The Rock having a ton of offense, out wrestling Triple H, and Triple H has to go to the outside a bunch because he's getting beat up and he's trying to slow down The Rock's offense. So that's the only thing he can think of is going to the outside and stopping the momentum. But every time Triple H comes back in, The Rock is able to get him somehow. He doesn't know how, but he's able to.
Yeah, and it was funny too because Jim Ross, I think it was, even commented during the match. Like I think The Rock was working on Hunter's legs, and he's like, it's hard to kick out when your legs are beaten down the way that. And this was 8-9 because this was before I think the first fall even happened. So I mean, you could, like you said, like The Rock was really started off like go 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 go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he was he had all of the offense. I'm gonna get into it right now, but yeah, like you mentioned earlier, 11 minutes in, The Rock hits a rock bottom and gets the first pinfall. And like I mentioned, The Rock's getting offense. Triple H comes in, gets 2 moves in, and then The Rock reverses and gets a rock bottom, gets the pin. Like,
yeah, the second that Hunter starts to come back, that's it.
Yeah. Once he forms a comeback, The Rock stops it in its tracks and hits his finisher, gets the lead 1-0, 11 minutes in, and then we skip ahead 9 minutes, and 80% of the offense has been The Rock. 20 minutes into the match, it's all been The Rock, and he's up 1-0, and up until 35 minutes, I think that's when we get our second fall.
Yeah. It's about half an hour, about a half hour plus in. So yeah, about 35, 34 minutes in.
Yeah, so 35 minutes left. A little bit earlier, to backtrack a little bit, because I'm going to talk about the figure 4. The Rock goes for a figure 4 this time, but it gets reversed, and this is how it leads into a pedigree. But earlier on, he had locked in a figure 4 that they had really worked for a while, where Triple H was in agony. He was fighting to get away from it. He can't get to it. They're rolling away from it. At one point, he rolls The Rock into the reversal of it, where if you flip him upside down, it causes the opposing or the opponent to feel the pressure instead of you. God damn it!
Yeah,
He's got a family. By God. But yeah. So they were selling it hard for like fucking 2-3 minutes on the floor.
Yeah.
So when we have The Rock go for it again, it kind of means something. So The Rock goes for it, gets pushed into the ropes, bounces off the ropes into a pedigree, and then we have Triple H's first count.
One of the things that I will say that I've mentioned it before with like Stone Cold and The Rock. The Rock's overselling sometimes can, to me, just be a touch too much. And in this point here, like when he twirls around for the figure 4, and Triple H gives him a little kick in the butt. And the momentum, which you would see if you were to push someone at the lower back into the butt, they would kind of like go forward like this, right? You know,
Yeah.
The Rock launches himself like a rocket, hits the turnbuckle, and flies back into the pedigree.
You got to be dazed to get the pedigree, baby.
But yeah, I mean, I guess The Rock can kick out of a pedigree, but if he's got a turnbuckle to the head first,
no way after that. Yeah, so then with 33 minutes left, so 2 minutes after that, Triple H just gets a cradle roll up, and they even mentioned the commentary. The Rock must still be kind of out of it, he still hasn't recovered from it, so that's why Cradle's able to get him so easily.
And then to the point to that, like after he gets the fall and Triple H kind of like rolls out of it, The Rock's still he's laying on the ground, right? He's not just like jumps up right away, like, oh, what? Like, no, it was a fluke. Like he is selling that he's still like not 100%.
Mm-hmm. So Triple H is up 2-1, and they go outside. They have a mini brawl on the outside. They fight up the
rampway,
the entranceway, the rampway. Oh, dude, I ordered my first ring. I know it's a $20 ring,
did?
but it's a nice display piece. Zack Ryder does his review on it. I ordered, I think, the Raw one, and it has interchangeable plates as Raw and Survivor Series. So I'll put that up as soon as I get it. Maybe I'll do an unboxing for it.
Nice.
But that's gonna be cool for my display. You can see some of the figures. I installed some lights in there, and I accidentally knocked them over. That's what.
Yeah.
But I installed some disc lights.
Oh, okay. I can see it at the top there on some of the shelves. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Sorry, the man almost took me out. I almost tore my groin.
Almost.
Oh, my groin.
This wasn't a football in the groin.
Yeah. It would have won America's most funniest home videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're fighting up the entranceway, and it's kind of like a reset because it's the 30-minute mark, and they go out to the entranceway.
Right. Yeah.
Triple
Yeah.
H gets thrown into the cage, and then they kind of just go back into the ring, kind of like, hey, it's a reset. 30 minutes in, 30 minutes have passed.
Yeah.
Triple H is up 2-1, and they make their way back to the. Leave these on. The bottom one needs batteries. I had to buy AAA batteries because they're wireless, and they all take 3 of them. So I
Triple H
decided to
batteries.
buy rechargeable ones because I have a recharger.
Oh,
for
that's
it.
smart.
But they're $10 each. So I'm like, I'll buy the last one next week because they were $10 each. So I already
Yeah.
spent fucking $30 on batteries. I'm like, ah. But it looks cool. I could change
It
the
does
colors
look good.
too. Look.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Look. Red.
Ooh.
I'll leave it white. I like it white.
No, I mean, I'm not going to go there.
We all know what you mean, Ryan.
Yeah.
We all know what you mean. Yeah, so they kind of do like a reset, but then they come back in, and with 27 minutes left, Triple H goes up 3-1 with a pedigree into a pin. So we have Triple H taking a very, very early lead.
Pile driver, wasn't it? For the...
Yeah, sorry, it was pile driver. I actually wrote down pile driver, but I said pedigree. Do you want to see my horrible handwriting? Because I did write pile driver. I don't know why I said pedigree.
Oh, you saw the P and you're talking about Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, so these guys are having an incredible match, and we have Hunter that hasn't really had as much offense as The Rock, but definitely is up 2-1 or by 2 pins. He's up 3-1.
Yeah.
With 20 minutes left, The Rock is down 3-1 and hits a belly to belly out of nowhere, and then a DDT and gets a 3 count. The Rock is down 3-2 at this point.
See, this is where I start to really appreciate this match because they're showing you that a move that normally Triple H would kick out of. Well, you know, like they've been going to battle for so long that he might be saving his energy because it's an Iron Man match. So why kick out now? Just, you know, let him take the fall, save your energy, and get going, right? Like, as like, yeah, like the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels match didn't have a lot of pinning opportunities necessarily, whereas this one there were some kickouts constantly happening, but they also like you said, the pile driver, the DDT led to falls. It wasn't just the inside cradle. It wasn't just like 3 finishers and then get the pinfall. It was a very well told story.
I'm dying.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. I got some cool masks. They sold the cloth masks at Target. I guess everyone was getting them in, but I've actually been very, very good at it. Look, I got hand sanitizer. I got another hand sanitizer bottle up there that work fills up. Except that one smells a lot more like alcohol, which I forgot to touch on. The reason the refs smell like alcohol, I bet you 100%, is because they are making them use a lot of fucking sanitizer.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
The reason I say this is because my job bought corn or grain alcohol, which smells like cheap fucking alcohol, but I use it to keep my hands clean.
But so, yeah.
So there's a big mystery on that.
I still like the fact that he was. I like the angle he was drunk.
Yeah. Cigarettes? Well, he's probably smoking cigarettes. What do you want?
Yeah, whatever. At least it doesn't smell like meth. You're in Florida. Come on. We live in Florida.
You're lucky it didn't smell like anything worse.
You smell like trailer park and ass.
Trailer park and ass. Yep, that sounds like Florida. I love you, Florida, though. You guys gave us MMA and give us wrestling. Thank you. It's all jokes. 16 minutes in, Triple H, or with 16 minutes left, Triple H uses a chair and hits The Rock on the head, and it's 3-3.
Hey, buddy.
So now it's tie, and you're like, what the fuck? Why did Triple H just do that? He goes for the pin and gets the 3 count because of the chair shot. He is up
Yeah.
4-3. And in video games, if you ever play video games, I would do this too. I would hit him with a fucking chair or something to drop down the meter. Yeah, I'd give him a pin, but I'm taking a lot of his fucking health bar
Yeah.
and I'm keeping mine up, or I'm getting a
And that's-
special.
And that was my argument earlier when I said, like, when The Rock got hit with the chair in the video game. I mean, I would say like at least like the early 2000s, like No Mercy, when I was playing that a lot. If you did the Iron Match, you hit him with a chair, you lose the fall, and he would stand right back up.
Yeah.
Like, oh mother, like I don't even get a chance to pin him.
But you get some special in it, bro.
Yeah.
That way you build up your special, and if you get a special, you get a pin.
Yeah.
If you get a special, then you'll get a pin. So you
And I like it too because Rock's hit with a chair, and Triple H still used the ropes to get on top of it.
I need to go back and play some old school wrestling games. Haven't had time. And then we got Money in the Bank today.
Got Money in the Bank tonight.
We'll see. Yeah, so now it's 4-3. Triple H is up 1 after that chair shot pin tie fiasco thing. And then 12 minutes and 30 seconds left. Triple H gets a sleeper submission and goes up 5-3. And it looks like it's all donezo for The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He actually got submitted. Like we have a variety of wins and pins and shit like that. Let's see. I guess right after, I don't know. I guess I didn't write down the time. Rock eventually hits a rock bottom on the announce table, and Triple H got it out.
It was the pedigree. Triple H goes to give the Rock bottom, and the Rock reverses it and gives Triple H the pedigree and gets like you said the count out fall.
5-4. So.
And that's like with like 5 minutes left.
Yeah. So it's got to be because the next timestamp I have
there's 3 falls in the last 5 minutes for sure.
Yeah. So then there's 2 minutes left, and the Rock hits the people's elbow to tie it 5-5. And this is where all hell breaks loose. And
less than 2 minutes to go, and now
the dusty finish, baby.
You
gotta swerve them, bro. So DX.
So Hogan gives them the figure poke of doom, and that's it.
Yeah.
No.
So DX and the McMahons were kicked out earlier by Triple H. You want to do this without any cheating or whatever? They've come out earlier, and now they've actually interfered in the match. DX has come to interfere in the match. So The Undertaker, the Great American Badass, is this him returning from?
This is his return, yeah. So the month before, Austin returned, and then to help The Rock, and then this month, Taker returns to help The Rock, but ends up not helping The Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. So
he just clears house of DX.
Yeah, he clears house of everybody, and then he attacks Triple H because they were all attacking The Rock.
Almost goes for the choke slam on Stephanie too.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna drive her. I forgot about how this one ended, and when I saw him grab Stephanie, I'm like, oh, is he gonna? Nope, never mind.
Yeah, so he choke slams Triple H, and Shawn, who has been...
He was out on the other side of the ring.
He had been accidentally taken out in all the chaos with DX interfering, with the McMahons interfering. I think Shane or Mr. McMahon had pulled him out or something earlier.
Shane pulls him out, and then he knocks Shane out. And then does he hit Vince also, or he hits Shane for sure? And I remember he's on the outside, and then DX all starts to swarm The Rock in the ring, and then Taker comes.
Swarm him, bro.
Yes. And you know what? I really appreciated what the finish was. The clock at the top. It was count. It gets the countdown as if you're watching a live sporting event, and when it gets to 8 seconds, 10 seconds left, it disappears off the screen. So right now, it's 5-5, and how much time is left? Is that what's going to happen? You don't know because there's no clock.
Oh, it definitely went over.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Because if you go back and listen to it, Shawn Michaels, I think The Rock. Taker hits Triple H, and Shawn's on the apron, not doing anything. and then he hits him again. Maybe he hits the tombstone, and then Shawn calls for the bell. But instead of the bell, you get the fall, the buzzer that they were doing for the when someone got a fall. And yeah, of course, Shawn goes and talks to the Fink, and with 1 second left on the clock, The Rock got disqualified, and Triple H gets a bonus fall.
Yeah,
and
shiesty ass finish.
Regains his title.
Yeah, and then Shawn Michaels leaves, and he's like, "Hey man, why'd you do that?" And Undertaker's like, "What the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
like, why'd you do that?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? I was knocked out." I was like, "I was knocked out." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, and it's
we swerved them, bro.
And well, it's funny too because you end up having King of the Ring later on, Kane, Undertaker, and The Rock versus Triple H, Vince, and Shane in a 6-man tag team match for the WWF Championship. Same as our Brothers of Destruction versus the 2-man power trip kind of rules. Whoever gets the pinfall gets the title.
Yeah.
So The Rock pins Vince and wins the title. But it was one of those things where like everyone's attacking everyone, trying to I want the fall. Like
just complete chaos.
Just complete chaos. Exactly.
Let's see. So that was the end of my match. I have more matches, of course, but that was the end of my match. Let's move on. So that was what, May?
That was May 2000, yeah.
After that, at King of the Ring, he takes on Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon. Oh no, he teams up with them.
Yeah, that's that 6-man tag team match where The Rock wins the title. And then this is where was it? No, I'm trying to remember now at this point. Like I know that DX ends up splitting up shortly after all of this, and the McMahon-Helmsley regime kind of goes their own separate way, leading into who it was going to 17. This was leading into like him versus the Undertaker WrestleMania. So
he doesn't have the title because Kurt Angle won at Armageddon in December of 2000, and
in that Hell in a Cell match, that 6-man Hell in a Cell.
Yep. Which I'm very intrigued. We should probably do one of that. We should probably do a watch along on that pay-per-view.
You ever seen Rikishi fall off the top of the cell?
Yes, but I would like to see it again.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
mind we should probably do a watch along on that.
For sure.
But we got this month planned out, but that'll be we can do that after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a badass one. Actually, looking at Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Rikishi, The Rock, Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle's champion after that. WrestleMania is, like you mentioned, Triple H versus The Undertaker. Loses, of course, in the streak.
Yep.
When's the Austin match? Because the Austin match is here. Him and Austin start up a feud. Why did they start up a feud? Oh,
this was because Triple H hired Rikishi.
He did it for The Rock.
Yeah, that's where that whole thing started up. I think was they kind of were going back and forth. This is pre 2-man power trip, right?
Yes. So yes, Triple H and Austin defeat The Undertaker and Kane for the WWF Tag Team Championships in 2001. But shortly after that, Triple H fucks up his quad, right?
Yeah, he messed up his. Sorry, I just want to pull something up really fast.
May 21st, 2001 looks like it was the last match on Raw that they lose to Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
looks like that's when he tore his
okay,
quad.
so that's what it is. That's where I'm. Oh, sorry. So I jumped ahead. It was No Way Out 2001. That's where I got confused. That was my match. So it was Austin versus Triple H. That leads into WrestleMania where Austin wins the title, and that leads into the 2-man power trip. So my match is actually before WrestleMania. So I jumped ahead there. That's my fault. So my match is the No Way Out 2001, which is February 2001, and that's the 3 Stages of Hell match.
Okay, yeah. I thought
it was
2002.
Yeah, so did I. I got confused and I skipped ahead there for some reason.
So cage match in 2000, the 6-man cage match. Kurt Angle comes out as champion. That's why Triple H is not champion, and he's able to have a feud with Austin where there's no title on the line between both of them.
And I think it's around this time that they have this really awesome angle where Triple H gets thrown into a room, but like Austin's attacking him backstage, throws him into a room, and you can see the glass, unfortunately. But Hunter, he's on the ground. He looks up, and there's a rattlesnake facing right at him, ready to strike. And then I think if it was SmackDown or Raw, Triple H comes out. He has his face is all discolored and it's all like warped looking. And he says, "Before that snake could bite me, Austin, I ripped his head off for saying to you," and he rips off all the makeup. But it was a really, really cool angle to see Triple H just get thrown into his locker room. There's a rattlesnake right in his face. Like, that was probably one of my favorite endings to Raw back in the day. And yeah, it told the story of this rivalry.
I don't know why this site that I check out, Fandom, skipped over that. 2001 they started in April, so they totally skip over the Austin.
So they start right into WrestleMania.
Yeah. Which Austin and Triple H had a couple pay-per-views where they had a feud going there. Maybe in January, Royal Rumble should have been.
Royal Rumble 01. I don't remember who Triple H would have fought or if he was in the Rumble, but Austin wins the Rumble, takes on Triple H in February. Then he fights The Rock. Then he forms into the two-man power trip and all that. But it was like this. That no way out.
Would skip that. That's kind of something that you'd want to talk about right before they form the two-man power trip later on.
And the match that they're gonna have at No Way Out. That three stages of hell. Yeah,
this site sucks. I'm not using this site anymore.
Especially when Triple H doesn't even have that much of a run in 2001. His run's over by May when he tears his quad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so he like. And the only thing that you have with Triple H is him losing at WrestleMania and forming the two-man power trip, and that's it. That's funny. But I like this three stages of hell. They've done a few of them. I know Triple H and Shawn Michaels had one. I don't know if it's always the exact same regular fight, street fight, cage match. I don't know if they've ever done like a Hell in a Cell or anything like that also, but this was a fun little match because you don't usually see Austin in like hardcore type matches. So when you see him in the street fight and you see the weapons in the steel cage, it's kind of like a newer thing for Austin, I guess, in a way. Like he was more just like he would brawl, but he wouldn't necessarily use weapons outside of a chair here and there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading stuff on him. So Austin picks up the first win in that regular wrestling match, RASSLIN.
Yeah, hits him with the stunner, and that was it.
Yeah, how long was it? Like 15 minutes they get of offense of just regular wrestling?
Yeah, just a regular match, yeah. And it's funny, too, because you'd think like Austin and Triple H, 2001, they'd be main eventing. Mm-hmm. They were right smack dab in the middle of that card.
Yeah. Well, if you count the three matches that they had, they were in the middle, and then...
Yeah, I guess, when you have like a 45-minute match, right? That's the other thing. Look at these Triple H matches, eh? Like they're 40-minute plus matches that he's going in that we've picked too. So it kind of shows back then what guys could do. Like you don't see, Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar having 45-minute matches at WrestleMania.
They're not that good, bro. They're not as good as Goldberg. They come in like this.
They don't even have 45 move matches.
Yeah, he comes in and he's like, you know what? I already calculated this. I'm at 3 spears and a jackhammer. I got this. It's over.
$6 million for 3 minutes worth of work, right? Yep, perfect. All right, see you guys.
Yeah. Who do you need me to drop it to next month? All right, I got it.
Yeah. Vince,
just use the same formula. 3 finishers and 3 specials and a finisher.
Hey Bill, we need a quick interim champion. We don't want to destroy our current champion by having him lose at WrestleMania, so we're gonna have him lose to you. Is that cool? Asking price is still the same? Yep, I'm there. The Vince model's the best. We don't want the Fiend to lose at WrestleMania, so we're gonna have him drop it at Super Showdown in 3 minutes instead.
It's not like.
Okay.
Like we don't have Money in the Bank coming up where he can win Money in the Bank, and then we have Bray fucking with him because he has the Money in the Bank. Hey, come fight me, Braun. Come get me, Braun.
Yeah.
But no, don't think of that. Let's just do some fucking
Or
stupid,
don't
dumb
have.
storyline and,
Well,
flip
well,
flop the title.
not to get too far off topic, but do you remember when Lesnar was champion and they wanted to put it on Reigns, but they didn't know how to keep Lesnar's flame nice and hot?
Yeah, so okay,
Money,
Goldberg, come on.
money in the Bank. You have Seth join it, make it a triple threat match, and pin Roman.
Oh, yeah.
Why couldn't they have just done that? You want to get the title off of the Fiend? Maybe Drew McIntyre can win Money in the Bank and make it a triple threat match later on, and the Fiend loses the title without getting pinned. You've done it before.
Yeah,
Like,
think about it, but don't be like, hey, this pay-per-view out of fucking nowhere, we're bringing in Goldberg, and he's gonna win.
and he's gonna win.
Do you guys know why? Do you know why? You guys want to know the storyline behind why he's gonna win? Yeah, too fucking bad. You don't get shit. Ha ha.
No, because he's
Suck
Goldberg.
this dick.
You know
And
how
we're
hard.
like, all right. What's up?
But we're talking
then-
about Austin. I'm gonna crack one open there.
But then then you get us complaining about it. That's why they get fanboys complaining about it, because of lazy writing. Like that could have been done a lot better, especially with the Fiend. I know they got something good going with the Fiend and people are behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But let's keep this good storylines. Like
Well, not my again to my argument's always been like with the Demon and with the Fiend, you break them out on special occasions. You don't have Bray Wyatt can be your champion all day long.
So what you're saying is
then when you want to bring the Fiend out and have him be like that attraction, like, oh shit, how is he supposed to beat Braun Strowman? Well, Bray Wyatt's going to bring out the Fiend.
So
Look at that.
You're saying is I have too many Finn Balor's as the Demon figures.
Yeah.
I'm not sending you any, Ryan. All right, I have all of them and I'm keeping all of them. They're all different.
one has green, one has blue.
Well, no, one has a chainsaw.
Yeah.
The other one has the London top hat. The other one has a different artwork in the back. The other one's the NXT debut one with a title. Come on.
That really didn't sound good. That sounded like something broke.
Uh-oh.
Oh well. Moving on. Back to the 3 stages of hell.
Yeah, back to the 3 stages of hell. So, so it's a hardcore match. This for the second match after Austin picks up the win, and these two guys decide to beat the shit out of each other.
I was actually surprised going back because I watched this match live back in the day, and for some reason I do not remember the barbed wire 2x4 making an appearance.
You mean the one that Jim Ross was hiding for Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Behind the announce table?
Yeah. Well, you watched the Royal Rumble match, and the Spanish announce table had to hide it on Cactus Jack. So Jim Ross is like, "Oh, I'll hold it for you guys this time."
He's like, Austin, like this.
No, but I mean, and it was a well done story. The hardcore match. It wasn't too violent because you have Austin with a history of neck problems, and it's also not his style to be in hardcore matches.
Well,
so they had to tell it more of just like a no holds barred. Like you can just fight outside the ring, you can fight inside the ring. If you hit him with a chair, no disqualification kind of style. Like they didn't go too over the top. Like there were some spots with
they gave us a lot of blood.
They did, and I was like, I don't know how to like. It wasn't like the Cactus Jack Triple H street fight. It was tailored to be more for Stone Cold, even though you did see the scene with the dragging of the barbed wire across the forehead.
Yes,
you the swing of the 2x4 kind of like to the back, like you did see those moves, but you just didn't see. It wasn't over the top. Like they Triple H has shown you at this point that he would go to like the thumbtacks and off the Hell in a Cell with Cactus Jack. So he had to kind of bring it back to do that same kind of style with Stone Cold, and he did, but he also kept the story going well enough that he didn't get bored, be like, oh well, Austin's not going to do this and Austin's not going to do that. well, how do you keep it interesting? How do you keep the fans involved in a hardcore match with one guy that doesn't really have hardcore matches? Just the way that they did it. And it wasn't dull. It was edge of your seat. You kept going. Like you wanted to see what happened next.
They had a nasty spot outside too where Austin reversed the spot. I think he might have been trying to get him on pin the pedigree.
Yeah.
He flipped him over, and I think he hit the floor. He might have hit the table and then the floor, but like the edge of the table. It was a pretty big spill for Triple H. But they had spots like that. A lot of the rubbing of the 2x4 across the face.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point we have Triple H go to that same spot where JR is hiding all his weapons. I guess he's fucking fans of Raven or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say Raven parked his cart there.
Yeah.
JR's like, got it.
Announce table. Because he pulls out a sledgehammer, so he's got everyone's favorites under there.
Right.
And he goes to hit Austin, but they're not gonna let someone get hit with a sledgehammer in real life. So Austin reverses it or whatever, and they're using their weapons of choices, and they're introducing the hardcore match, their weapons of choice, which will later come into play later on in the match. I forgot exactly how Triple H picks up the victory in the hardcore match.
He gets the pedigree, does he not? I want to say he hit Austin with the pedigree because I'm drawing a blank on that one now myself. Because I know Austin hit the stunner to win the first one, and I know how the third fall goes, but I thought for some reason that was just like
it might have just been a pedigree. I think it was a pedigree.
I think it was like a straight pedigree, just 1, 2, 3, and that was it. So I don't think there's any cheating or anything.
No. And then we have the cage fall. Not fall. It comes down, and they set up the cage for the third stage of hell.
And like you see in all these matches with the 3 stages of hell, the weapons are still in the ring, so they can still get used. So you have the barbed wire base, the 2x4, and the sledgehammer, the chairs are all still in there. So that even though cage matches are already brutal, and now these weapons are stuck in there with them. So
And I don't know if it was in this match because I saw a lot of Triple H matches, and there was a lot of this. They were whipping the fuck out of each other into the side, into the cage, into the stairs and the cage itself.
Oh, okay.
But the stairs as well. They were doing a lot of that. I'm pretty sure it was in this one too. And any hardcore match, that's a big spot that they use.
I've been watching that. I was watching a lot of Cactus Jack and Triple H these last couple of days after that documentary dropped. So like all I can picture is Mick Foley going over the steps over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and by this point here, like it's like we've said, past with the Iron Man match with the story, like the guys are gassed. So it's not a super, super long at this point in time. Like this is their third fall, right? So they've already had 2 matches. This is the third. Your basic cage match with weapons. I don't you know what I mean? Like the guys are gassed, so like they're not moving as quickly. They're getting hit and they're staying down. They're trying to get the fall. Guy kicks out, and I think it was the perfect way to have it finish where both guys just kind of hit each other and they both fall down. And Hunter just falls on top of him. I think that was the best way to end that match.
Yeah, and they both hit each other with each other's, or they each have their own favorite weapon. So
yeah. Well, the thing, the tricky thing with this match is how do you have Austin lose when he's about to fight for the title? Because now like Austin just won the Rumble. Now he's about to face The Rock, but he's going to lose in between that. It's a very weird spot. So you want to make sure you do it the right way.
Yeah.
What to do it then? He was hit out unconscious, and the other guy just happened to fall on top of him unconscious. Also, kind of deal. 1, 2, 3, get the pin, go home, kind of deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ending. Pretty good match. Well, pretty good 3 matches.
Yeah, and it leads perfectly because now, Austin, now he's got to overcome this loss to Triple H when he goes to fight The Rock at WrestleMania next month. And Triple H has now proven that, he's beaten The Rock in the past, and now he's beaten Austin in the 2 to 3 falls after being down the first fall. So, he's putting himself in the title picture. But, this is like one of my favorite angles. And I wish that the WrestleMania match was a little bit better, but the angle with him and the Undertaker at this point, where he's crushing the Undertaker's bike and all that stuff, it was so good at this point in time now.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned the Undertaker at WrestleMania 17. He was defeated by him, and then in April 2001 on SmackDown, he defeats Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental Championship. Back to WrestleMania 17 for a second. Austin turns heel and joins Vince McMahon he beats The Rock by joining Vince McMahon.
Yeah, Vince uses the chair to help him out and whatnot. And
yeah, so Austin's heel. And then April 12th, Triple H wins the Intercontinental Championship. And
this was the power trip was birthed before that. This was just to get more.
Actually, you're right. Sorry about that. The night after WrestleMania, The Rock challenges Austin for the belt because he fucking cheated, and then Mr. McMahon's like, nah, fuck that. But eventually, it's a cage match, and Triple H comes and helps out Austin, helping him retain the title, and then I think they help out, or Austin helps him get the Intercontinental Championship, and this forms a two-man power trip. And a little bit after that, in May 21st, 2001, Triple H tears his quad in a match against Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho for the titles.
Yeah.
And I think they drop them. They win there, actually, right?
They were supposed to, I think, lose the titles regardless. If I remember right, like it wasn't like a on the spot finish. It was a planned finish for Jericho and Benoit to win the titles. It just happened that, Triple H, Austin is in the walls of Jericho. Triple H goes to knock Jericho out of the ring, plants his leg wrong, tears the quad, and I don't know if it was Austin got pinned. I think Austin got pinned, and that's who got pissed off at Triple H and whatnot. I'm trying to remember like a small story angle from 19 years ago. It's a little tricky. Mm-hmm. That's it for Hunter for the year. And people don't remember that a quad injury in 2001. I mean, a quad injury in 2020 is not anything an athlete wants, but a quad injury 19 years ago was career threatening. Like they didn't know if he was coming back. If he did come back, they didn't know what he was going to be like. This was I want to say that Triple H was one of the first athletes, and this could just be WWE blowing smoke, But I remember reading and hearing that Triple H was one of the first athletes to tear his quad and make a full recovery. At least to that point. I don't know how true that is then or now, but he was gone for 8-9 months. I still remember the comeback when it was announced that Triple H was coming back.
Do you remember that crazy promo?
Which one?
The one that Triple H was coming back with like music and everything. And
I was going to say, they played I remember them doing. There was a time when they were doing like random music videos to certain superstars, and they did U2's "Beautiful Day" for Triple H, and I remember that little video thing that they would show, and then when they announced that Triple H was coming back that night, and on Raw. And remember, at this point in time, he was still using the "It's My Time" theme song by the guys that did the DX theme song. And when he came back January 2002, it was Motorhead time, baby, and it was time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. So he comes back, and at Royal Rumble, he's number 22, I think.
Yeah. He definitely, he was kind of like the mid to the end.
Yeah, he was 22. And he was the winner. I don't know.
Takes Kurt Angle at the end. One of my favorite, Kurt Angle could take an elimination from the Royal Rumble so good because he knew when to turn his body, so it looked a lot worse than it actually was.
Oh, in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows how to go over them ropes.
Kurt Angle made it look a lot worse than it was. And,
Triple H was 26 and gets eliminated by Triple H. 29th one to get eliminated.
And then, so Triple H is off to fight the first ever undisputed champion, Chris Jericho, because while Triple H was gone, they decided to bring in the WCW. Oh, he missed the whole invasion angle. That's why.
Right.
That's why.
They decided to bring in the WCW. You mean the
Wow.
WCW failed and got bought out by Mr. McMahon?
No. Because they were using the two champions throughout the summer. They were still using the World Heavyweight Champion and the WWF Champion at the same time.
They decided to unify them.
At that, yeah, with Jericho. But yeah, I forgot that Triple H was completely out of commission for the invasion angle and all that.
Yeah,
Which,
with a squad injury.
For him, I mean, unless he was going to be getting like your Kevin Nash, your Goldberg, your Hogan, your Sting, there was no point in a lot of the guys that they brought in minus Booker T and Triple H at that time. They weren't a lot of big WCW stars that were coming in at that time, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. We haven't skipped any matches, right? It's 2004 is the next one, right?
04, 05, and so yeah, it's a while to go still. Yeah, 15. The last one, yeah. So at this point now, he comes back and he has the minor feud with Jericho, wins the belt. Stephanie's against him. Stephanie leaves him a bunch of times. Once with Angle, once with Jericho in this era.
Mm-hmm. Sidetrack. I have entrance greats. I probably mentioned that already. Entrance greats. Kurt Angle should be coming soon. I'm gonna tear him open. He comes with a little bass that'll play.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did tell me that. Yeah, that's right. You did mention that before.
He's still not in. I hope he comes in today or tomorrow. I don't know.
And so this is where you kind of get like that weird Triple H too. So he'll lose the title, the Undisputed Championship. He'll eventually lose it to Hogan. Which we watched last week or 2 weeks ago, whichever one that one was.
Yeah, go ahead and check that out.
And then after that, he kind of he ends up getting the Brock Lesnar. I think I mentioned it on that episode. Yeah, Lesnar signs a SmackDown exclusive contract with Stephanie. So Bischoff gives Triple H the big gold belt, starting the new lineage, like you had mentioned. And at this point was when he kind of just went through his WrestleMania, not dominance, because it just seemed he was main eventing WrestleManias. And
would it be fair to call that new belt given to him the World's Heavyweight Championship? Because I heard it referred to that as before, not the WWF or the WWE Championship, which is the blackstrap one now. I would guess, or I would say, and before they would call it the WWE Championship and the World's Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, because I think it was it was the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think having because I think even in the video games it's the World Heavyweight title, the WWF title, and then I'm fast forwarding 15 years now, but when John Cena and Randy Orton fight in the TLC match and Orton wins, he becomes the WWE World's Heavyweight Champion. So that's when they mixed them two together. Mm-hmm. So I would say you had the WWF Champion, which was Lesnar, and the World Heavyweight Champion, which was Hunter. I would say that's probably the best way to say it. He was the World's Heavyweight Champion at that point with that belt. But yeah, he gets a match that unfortunately I wish was better at WrestleMania. I think 19, when he takes on Booker T. I had high hopes for that match, and it didn't. I mean, Triple H was going to go over him because Triple H wanted to beat every WCW person he faced. See Scott Steiner. Yeah. See
Holla.
Yeah. See Scott Steiner. See Booker T. See Goldberg. See Sting. Anyone from WCW that jumped over Triple H has a win over them, like a one-way shape or form, you know.
You're talking about 2003 Royal Rumble where he beat Scott Steiner, right?
Yeah.
And he gets a little bit of a feud. Well, yeah, 2003 kind of has a feud with the WCW guys.
Well, because Steiner was supposed to get that title at WrestleMania, but after the Royal Rumble match, I think this is on Something to Wrestle With, they lost faith in Steiner.
Yeah, had No Way Out. Triple H defeats him at No Way Out as well.
Yeah, and then
that defeats he picks up the win back.
And then so then Booker T gets involved with the title, and then shortly thereafter, it's Evolution starts up. They end up with all the titles going into WrestleMania 20, where Benoit makes Hunter tap. Starting actually a pretty impressive losing streak for Hunter Hearst Helmsley at WrestleMania, because he loses to Benoit, loses to Batista, loses to Cena, loses to then took a year off for the injury. Then I think he loses a couple more times in there. Not to jump too far ahead, but for someone who's known for his WrestleMania entrances, Hunter has a fair amount of WrestleMania losses that people don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes to his credit as not being afraid to put the guys over.
If you watch his birthday thing, HBK brings that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pretty hilarious. They roast him. They take it as a chance to roast him.
I need to go back and check that anniversary special out.
At least just that last segment with Triple H.
That's what I want. Yeah, I want to see that, because I saw the very ending where Triple H or Hunter Vince turns off the lights.
Yeah,
and there's like, you hear crickets? And like, didn't they say that through your entire career, Hunter? But so I skipped a little bit ahead there. For when he do I have a match? But so I had the 04.
You had the 04. So 03, he just beats the shit out of WCW guys. It's Triple H. Well, he gets beaten by them or beats them. He faces Scott Steiner, Booker T.
Forms Evolution,
he
and
takes
that
on Kevin Nash. He takes on Goldberg. Yeah, it's all WCW guys besides Batista at the end of the year. Or he forms Evolution, I think, at the end of the year.
He gets Evolution, and it's I think it was like Randy Orton on Raw. I think he wins the title. Or no. I think he wins that from the pay-per-view. But Randy Orton, I think, was the only WWF superstar. My podcast is doing great, Carla. I love you. It's probably around the just after SummerSlam, so probably maybe like September, October, when finally he's done with WCW and starts facing WWF guys again.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I think I proved my point. I'll wait for Sting to come here, and then I'll take care of him in 15 years.
He had to get that win, bro. He had to get it in.
But yeah, so to backtrack the 04, Benoit wins the Rumble, gets the shot against Triple H, he ties Shawn Michaels in the last man standing match at Royal Rumble 04.
Double count out.
So they end up, because you can't lose the title, he ends up keeping it. Michaels wants another match at WrestleMania, but Benoit, SmackDown guy, wants to go to Raw to fight Hunter. Shawn Michaels makes a triple threat match by sweet chin musicking Benoit and signing the contract with Hunter and Benoit. Benoit makes Hunter Hearst Helmsley tap. The next month, Benoit makes Shawn Michaels tap in the sharpshooter, and that leads into Shawn Michaels and Triple H now each have lost to the champion or have lost to the current champion, and they still have some unfinished business. So while Kane takes on Benoit, you get a 45-minute Hell in a Cell match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels that they should have retired Hell in a Cell after that match.
It is a crazy, crazy match.
It is. The fact that you have a Hell in a Cell match and someone breaks out a ladder. Like, come on.
It's a Hell in a Cell match, and they did everything they possibly could to make it not a Hell in a Cell match inside the Hell in a Cell match.
The only thing that they didn't do was go on top of the cage.
Yeah.
They did everything. Think about, like, you'd mentioned the Mankind, the Cactus Jack Triple H.
Have a nice day.
Top of the cage. Jericho and Triple H, top of the cage. Undertaker and Mankind, top of the cage. Undertaker and HBK broke the cage, tried to get up top, but ends up getting thrown off midway. There was always out of the cage. Triple H and Hunter stay in the cage the whole time, and they put on
kind of in the middle of the cage if you count the ladder spots. They're like the floating in the air, kind of.
Yeah, so
kind of
they elevated themselves.
Yeah,
but a fantastic match.
Yeah, but a ladder in Hell in a Cell, you kind of don't see that.
But like how and the fact, like when Triple H, Hunter, he has too many nicknames. This guy, when HBK pulls the ladder out and he just leans on it and he's smiling that sinister little smile, and you're looking at that ladder and you're like, does he have the angle to get that thing from underneath the cage?
Yeah. So if people don't get it, the reason that he's smiling is because HBK's thing was kind of like the ladder's thing with Razor Ramon.
Triple H had the sledgehammer. Hunter had,
and Hunter had kind of he did have the sledgehammer, but he was also known for winning Hell in a Cell matches. I think at this point.
Yeah, because I think they even mentioned that Hunter's never lost one. He'd been in maybe 2 or 3. I think he'd beaten Nash at this point. He'd beaten Cactus Jack at this point. Big name main event performer.
You forgot about that Nash one because it's kind of just there.
I want to say in that one, he has. I could be confusing this one, but I want to say he hits him with like a hammer, like breaks up the toolbox like he did with Batista at WrestleMania. I want to say he hits him with a straight up hammer in the knee or something. I haven't seen that one in a while. I wanted to go back and check that one out this week, but I didn't get it. I didn't get the time to do it. I had to be a father when Kara left, unfortunately. But, but no, yeah. Like I remember wanting to watch it, but just I had other Triple H things I wanted to watch instead of that one.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch Triple H and Mankind, and then Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Hell in a Cell matches, you don't need to watch anything else. Triple H Hell in a Cell because those are the top 2.
Yeah. I guess we could just skip ahead. He kind of has similar. He has his feuds with Randy Orton, where Randy Orton's champion. He takes
that's it for my match. That's it. We're just gonna skip over my match. We're just gonna touch on it briefly.
Well, you got more on it?
No, I was gonna say it was just a fucking epic match.
It is an epic match. They do anything and everything they possibly can because they can't be on top of the cage.
And I think Jim Ross even points out, because he lets you know that, well, we've been going on for 20 minutes. We've been going on for half an hour. We're at 45 minutes. And you're like, God fucking damn it.
And it was nonstop. You know what I will say about this match? I didn't like Triple H's white boots.
You know what I was going to say? I actually loved the white boots.
What?
I don't know what it was when he came out and I saw the white boots. I was like,
fashion, that's all I'm
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I actually had
you don't know fashion, that's what it is.
I had a dishwasher that used to work for me back in the day.
You see my nice 5'4" plain gray sweater? It's nice.
You're here.
5'4". At me, 5'4". I got my package in yesterday. Sent me some nice gray pants.
Nice. I'm wearing stained sweatpants myself.
I'm wearing jeans though. Those are actually like nice dress pants not dress pants, but like I could wear with a nice polo.
Okay. Nice. I was gonna say, with the white boots, I had this dishwasher. He had OCD, and he would tell me the next night on the Monday. It's like, I knew the Hunter was gonna lose. I was like, how'd you? Was it? No, I knew that Hunter was gonna win. I said, how'd you know he was gonna win? He goes, he had white boots on. Hunter never loses when he wears white boots. And he's like listing all these matches. I'm just standing like, God damn. I mean.
I wonder if fucking Mattel fucked it up. They should have made the Ultimate figure with alternating white boots. I wonder how rare that Hunter is with the white boots.
If you can find a Hunter toy with white boots, because I mean, he probably in like Mattel. Early 2000s, he couldn't have wore them much more than like 5 times.
Mattel does have a lot of Triple H's, but I don't know if they have that one with the white boots from this Hell in a Cell match versus.
That's where you get the white paint.
Shawn Michaels. I like Shawn Michaels' gear. He's got the old school gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The old school HBK gear. I have a basic one of that one. I wish I had a elite of that one, but I do have the turquoise heart pants one.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
From SummerSlam, him and Razor.
Yeah.
But let's move on. They had a fantastic match.
And that just kind of so the end of now through 04, it's more just
feuding with Evolution.
It's Batista, Triple H, and Ric Flair just kind of doing their thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Evolution and then feuding with them. He drops. They drop Orton.
At SummerSlam, Orton wins the title. That's right.
Yeah.
And then Triple H turns on Orton. You get the first ever Elimination Chamber is around this time. I may actually be wrong on that one. It might be the second Elimination Chamber around this time where. Anyway, so basically you're leading into Triple H's ultimate plan of Batista and Orton being the next torch carriers in WWE, and Batista's going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to. If you don't know the storyline behind of Triple H Batista and how they're trying to get Batista to conquer SmackDown, so we have to avoid him, it's an amazing storyline that they told. They went back and forth on that for a while before he just gives him the thumbs up and the thumbs down, which became his signature move when he would do the Batista bomb.
And it's kind of like a recall to the time where they were celebrating with Orton.
Yeah.
And then Triple H gives him the thumbs up, and then he turns it to the thumbs down, and then Orton or Batista just backdrops him, and it was up Orton.
Yeah, and it became like a massive signature for Batista. The thumbs up, thumbs down. I love that. Has the contract, breaks it, puts Triple H to the table, signs it, head to WrestleMania, and head to WrestleMania where he drops the title and goes into the second match where he fights Batista in a no disqualification match, I want to say, and loses. And that leads us into the Vengeance. I think was it Vengeance that you had picked for the Hell in a Cell?
Yes, June 26, 2005.
So
Vengeance Triple H takes on Batista.
And this is the third straight pay-per-view of Batista and Triple H. And if you're wondering why it doesn't line up that way, it's because back then the big five, including King of the Ring, were dual-branded pay-per-views. Otherwise, every month was alternating between Raw and SmackDown. So Triple H and Batista would have fought back-to-back months, had a month off, and then they would have fought at this one here. In the Hell in a Cell, which, why not?
Yeah. So I would say they did a similar... HBK and Triple H, they're like, we're not going on top of the cell. We're going to do our thing inside the cell. I think in that aspect, Batista and Triple H had that same idea, but they had their own style match as to where HBK and Triple H had their style match inside the cell as much as they could.
Yeah, like Triple H isn't going to throw Batista into the turnbuckle and have Batista do like a flip because he had, and hurt his back that's been injured for 8 years, like he did with Shawn. He had to do a different style of storytelling, so it was it's more brute versus brute. It's not brute versus speed.
The throwing against the ring post, the throwing against the stairs. They even introduced the chair with the barbed wire. They used that a lot. Where, so then they introduced the aspect of blood where they were rubbing it across each other's faces. Well, more across Triple H's face. Batista wasn't really bleeding from the face that much. He took more of the back shots to with the chair where that caused the bleeding on him. But Triple H also took the back shots on that. The back drops on the chair that caused the blood to be everywhere. And like I said, they did anything and everything they could inside the cage, as opposed to getting on top of the cage and having to throw each other off. All the other ones.
And one of my favorite finishes too is this one, because I've always loved when I think Triple H has done it a few times where going up for a power bomb or a choke slam, he would grab the sledgehammer and quick little pop, guy goes down, Triple H gets the win. And that's exactly what they did with the finish here. Triple H gets the sledgehammer, Batista sets him for the power bomb, and as you can see it, like it just goes to show how when someone's amazing at what they do. As Batista's going lifting up Hunter for the Batista bomb, you can see Triple H is trying to get the sledgehammer in place, and Batista drops him, and you can hear Jerry King, "Oh, did he get him with the sledgehammer? Did he get him? Oh, he must not have hit him." And then Batista goes for the cover, and he gets the 3 count. But it was one of those things where it's like when you see Triple H getting lifted up and he's got the sledgehammer in his hand, you start thinking like, "Oh, he's going to hit him. Like this is it." Because they had done some spots where he was hit with the sledgehammer, but Triple H couldn't make the cover. So now would be the perfect time to hit him and maybe fall on him, get the cover, but you couldn't get it. And then
as Jim Ross,
as Jim Ross pointed out, it was the first time in his career that Triple H had lost 3 straight main events on pay-per-view. And that's
why I was really confused when Batista came back in recent years and was like, Hunter, you've never beat me at a WrestleMania, and it's like, or something like that. And it's like, dude,
you've never beaten me at a main event, or you've never beaten me at a pay-per-view or something like that.
I was like, should you just be proud of that and just drop it? Like, you won, dude.
Yeah, like, why'd you come back? I came back. He never beat me, and I beat him.
I want to beat you at WrestleMania. It's like, you beat him everywhere else. You've been 3 straight.
Listen, if I beat you 3 times in a row, and then I leave, if I come back, I'm not saying I want you because I've already beaten you. So it was a wasted storyline. I think what they did there when they brought him back, not to skip to your last match too fast, but when they brought him back for like the relaunch of Evolution and then whatnot, like it was just kind of like I get what you're doing, but I don't really care for it at this point. Like it was, they could have used Batista in different ways. They tried something, it didn't work. It's, whatever, it is what it is. He has his things, they have their things. But the fun part with this era now is that we get, the relaunch of DX gets cut, I jumped a little bit fast, too far ahead. You end up with Triple H and John Cena with my favorite Triple H entrance with the brand. So
yeah, go ahead and give us your favorite Triple H entrance, because my match jumps all the way to 2014. It's WrestleMania 13, so we skip far ahead. We skip like a chunk of Triple H's. We don't have to. We could touch on. A little bit here.
The big thing that you're going to touch on at this point in time really is like the relaunch of DX against the McMahons and the Spirit Squad.
But it was more of it, dude.
But then that's the thing. Like they were going a lot more jokey than they used to. They always play up the DX used to be like these jokey kind of guys. The 97 DX were not as jokey as they were in 06, 07, I think it was.
They came back for the money.
For the money. They came back. Triple H tears his knee, and then really from WrestleMania 24 on to like 30, there's like a 6-year span where Triple H, he gets the title, he loses it, he's against McMahon, he's with McMahon. Like there's just a lot of weird storylines. I think
Cena,
but that one is that WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 22. Orton. Jesus Christ, Ryan. John Cena versus Triple H. My favorite Triple H entrance. I was going to say, we had touched earlier briefly that Triple H came back in 2001 with Motorhead singing his song. They then did Line in the Sand for Evolution, and then Motorhead recorded a 3rd song for WWE and Triple H, The King of Kings. And that was where he comes out like Conan the Barbarian style, looking like he's going to conquer worlds now. Of course, John Cena will beat him and kind of set different things in motion, but Triple H was a massive Motorhead fan. So Motorhead played 2 or 3 times at WrestleMania. Triple H spoke at Lemmy's funeral back in 15. So it's kind of cool that they were able to like take this character of Triple H and give him like this amazing edge with the greatest metal band of all time. And he even wore Lemmy's facial hair for a fair chunk of his career back in the day as well.
Yeah, he did have that for a while. I had chops for a while too.
I bring it up all the time. I just brought it back just now. Yeah. Not just now, but a week or so ago I decided why not.
My favorite Triple H entrance is a selfish one. It's for selfish reasons, because I have the fig.
I got the tour, so I guess I have to like it.
No, well, it's a badass entrance as well.
No, it is. And that's the thing, like, he had so many, like, the one where he rides down on that bike with Stephanie.
With all the cops?
Yeah. The WrestleMania 21 entrance. He was out at 22.
Well, so this.
Or no, he was there.
This one is. Was this WrestleMania 30?
I was gonna say that one there. I think isn't that the one where he takes on Sting?
This one?
Yeah, because I want to say that one there reminds me of when they were outside, and that was WrestleMania 31 when he took on Sting.
That video I put up has here.
I remember the WrestleMania 30 match, but I don't recall, unless it's the entrance where he's got like the motorcycle, but it's got like the two wheels at the back kind of style, and he rides out and he takes the mask off.
Is that WrestleMania 30?
I want to say that was WrestleMania 30, but I'm not 100% on that entrance. But I do want to say that the one that you have is 31. But I could be wrong on that.
I'm going to figure it out real quick if this loads up fast enough. Because I reposted the video of the 10 entrances.
10 entrance? Mm-hmm.
And the last one is, it has Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Alexa Bliss take off the robes and the helmet and shit like that. So that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if that was 30, and I think that's why it would be a little bit cooler too, because 2014.
It has. No, you're right. No, it is 30. You're 100% right.
2014 when I started watching wrestling again.
Because Stephanie cut that awesome promo in the ring about how he was going to bury Daniel Bryan. You're 100% right.
Yeah, it is WrestleMania 30. Yep.
Stephanie cuts the promo, and then he appears, and then like you said, they take everything off. He takes off his own helmet, and that's right.
So I got back in 2013, but like in August 2013 from Champaign. So when I got back, I really hadn't been watching wrestling at all. And I got back, and my brother's like, "Hey, do you want to watch wrestling?" I'm like, I'm really not into it anymore. And he got me back into it, so I was back in full force this WrestleMania, and I was watching WrestleMania. And he actually got me this fig for my birthday. He found it at Walgreens. That one and the Luke Harper I have over there, they were from the same line. And he gave them both to me. So I've had this Triple H for a while. But I also have... Give me a second. I also have Daniel Bryan signed from that WrestleMania where he has both titles. You can see it's the other one in there as well. But it's the signed Daniel Bryan where I actually got to meet Daniel Bryan at the thing me and Jesus got.
So you're going to open that one up and set it up when you get your ring of Triple H versus Daniel Bryan then? Remember, the toy doesn't have... The box is where the value is at that point when it's signed, right? Unless he signs bigger.
Yeah, right? I opened that up and he signs that too. I need to get a protective case for that box because that's one of the only ones that I really want to keep super protected, that nothing happens to it. But that Triple H goes with that Daniel Bryan, and I actually got Daniel Bryan assigned that fig. So, and it's the year it all comes together because I didn't even realize that till now. It's the year that I got back into watching wrestling that I came back from Champaign. So actually, those
so it has like a lot of cool connections to that era or that year, I should say, not era, but
because it wasn't really that crazy of a match. It was Triple H playing the big bully heel.
I don't know if you did he have the Dan Bryan had the shoulder at this point?
Yes, he has the shoulder shit.
Yeah, so like they were really telling that story of like this is the Yes movement.
Yes,
so
100% Yes movement.
This is WWF taking not Me Too movement. What was the 2%? The Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street movement. That's what it is. And they took that and turned into the Daniel Bryan, the underdog, the 2%ers of the world, or the 98%ers of the world, rather, I should say, that don't get that advantage. Daniel Bryan's the everyday guy fighting the authority. He wanted to join. He loses the Royal Rumble, and Batista's going to fight for the title. He wants in. They had that epic scene in Raw where all the fans are in the ring chanting yes, 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 and Daniel Bryan wants a title shot. He has to beat Triple H in the opening match, and then move all the way to the main event. And
even in a losing effort, he was able to have good chemistry with the underdog Daniel Bryan, and he puts young talent over
Well, and telling that story of, if you beat me, I'm going to make sure that I hurt you, so that if you're able to continue on in the next match, you're not going to be 100%, and my boys will take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they really told a fantastic story in that aspect of uh, power versus no power, and injuring the hurt to keep your kind, at the upper echelon. And like you said, putting over talent. Triple H has never had a problem putting over talent. He does what's best for the business, which is why NXT is where it is. It's why Sin Cara joined WWE, was because Triple H. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, Triple H has gone out of his way while he was at his prime to still talk to talent and bring young foreign, young non-foreign talent, anything. Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe. Triple H will do whatever it takes to get talent that he thinks will work. And you've seen him put over guys at WrestleMania. You've seen him win when appropriate, as his career went on.
No, you're 100% right. There's not a lot I got to say about this match. It's just Daniel Bryan being the underdog, getting a lot of his offense in, and Triple H stifling that. Working on the messed up shoulder that Daniel Bryan came in with, further leaning into the fact that he's the underdog. So we have Triple H smashing it against the table, smashing it on the ring apron, just focusing on it.
And Stephanie the whole time, just
yelling
like,
on the outside.
yeah, like just selling. And I say this with all due respect, selling that bitch persona.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that authority stuff was like,
kind of. I'm gonna play a little bit of homage to Woman. I don't know. She was on the outside and she would just yell, yell for no reason all the time.
That's a good analogy for old school fans. Like, that's the best way to look at it. How she was in that match.
Yeah, she was just like, "You're not gonna win, Daniel," and she just kept repeating it over, trying to get it in. "You're not gonna beat him, Daniel."
Yeah,
just trying
to
hammer it in, and she would not stop with it. Women would just yell at any point when the person that she managed would get a hit. Yeah, so Triple H puts over Daniel Bryan, but then he fucks him up at the end of the match, injuring him further, and Daniel Bryan actually goes on to win the WWE.
Actually, and to come full circle in a sense with that pay-per-view, that WrestleMania, you got Stephanie McMahon, like I said, being like, that bitch, that bitch Kale Baskin.
You hear about them Baskin bees?
But you got Stephanie McMahon doing that persona, right? And if you watch that WrestleMania start to finish, you see Daniel Bryan go over to this kid. The first, when he leaves the ring and he celebrates with this little kid. And this kid's Connor the Crusher. And the kid had cancer. He was dying. And he got to meet Daniel Bryan, blah, 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 blah. Not to get too much into it. But Daniel Bryan goes and celebrates with him. You see Stephanie McMahon at that pay-per-view and how she is. They did a little montage when that little boy passed away, and Stephanie talking about him and Daniel Bryan together. You realize how much of a character she really, really is.
Yeah.
Like, you understand, like, how, like, there's a lot of times you hear with, like, these guys, they turn it off, they turn it on, that kind of stuff. But Stephanie, you do not like her one bit. And then you see this, like, other thing that was happening at that exact same time, and what her and Hunter did to get that kid to WrestleMania, front row seats and all that stuff. It's pretty phenomenal.
That nose is to scale.
Get out of here. How many times do you think that Naj was broken?
Yeah, so Daniel Bryan goes on to win 2 belts, or whatever they called it at the time.
That was where it became the WWE World Heavyweight title. Instead of having the WWE Champion and the World Heavyweight, now you had the WWE World Heavyweight.
Yeah, it became this one.
Right? Yeah, and I love that belt. That was their last good belt. And that's very, very generous to me, because that belt was not the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm. And we skipped a lot of in between that because he became CEO and he really didn't do anything.
There was a lot of times where you would like even now, like when he fights Undertaker at Super Showdown and stuff like that. It's one of those things where kind of like just pops up.
Yep, I'm out of retirement. I'm not CEO for today. I'm
Yeah,
Triple
like
H in the
even
game.
when he fought the Undertaker in back-to-back WrestleManias, there wasn't a ton happening beside that. You know, he'd been at the biggest promotion at the highest level for almost 15, 20 years at that point. You know what I mean? Like, plus he was he was a bodybuilder and an athlete when he was younger. So I mean, he'd been through the ringer a lot of his career, and that's why you've seen in the past 5 years or so when we won the Royal Rumble to become the champion and take the belt from Roman Reigns. It was just like, well, why is he coming back now? Like it almost very Goldberg. How we were talking about Goldberg come back. Like, why is he coming back for this?
Mm-hmm.
But at least with Triple H, like Triple H got 15 title reigns. He could easily book himself to get 2 more if he really wanted to cement himself as number 1 in title reigns. But he doesn't because he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Like he has this thing. Like I said, he travels the globe, or he has scouts around the globe giving him talent. That's what he wants to keep his business. Like, regardless if him and Stephanie get the company when Vince is done, or if it goes to Shane, it doesn't matter. He's doing whatever he has to and whatever he can to make sure that this company keeps on living and breathing. Like, why do you think NXT is leaps and bounds better than Raw and SmackDown? It's because of what Triple H puts into that. He gets the best of the best to help those people out. That's why guys don't want to leave NXT.
Yeah, and
that's why people want to go back to NXT.
And like, depending on what he does for and with NXT going forward, who knows what he might be known for going forward? Is it going to be known for his in-ring, or is it going to be known for his out-ring, what he's done
I have a feeling he's going to be like Dusty Rhodes is to me.
Dusty Rhodes, baby.
To me, Dusty Rhodes, he was a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But I know him as the backstage guy. And that's where you're going to see people like my kids. When my kids are like, 10, 15 years down the line,
mm-hmm.
and I'm watching a Triple H match, they're going to say, who's this? And they're like, I can tell them who it is, but they would probably eventually know him more as behind the scenes than anything else.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Like, if you can get a career after the ring at that high of a level, and props to you. Because there's a lot less jobs backstage that are that high tier than there are in the ring.
Yeah, no, and he definitely married into a royal family. We definitely skipped over that, but I don't want to attribute any of that. Well, it does have him being there, him being consistently there, not being injured, and being a well-rounded wrestler on the mic, in the ring. He positioned himself to where he married Steph and he married royalty.
And where everyone says that he wouldn't have 15 title reigns if it wasn't for being married to Steph. That's fair. Mm-hmm. You can make that argument, but you can't sit there and tell me that he wouldn't have 6, 7, 8 title reigns if he never married Steph. Because don't forget, when him and Steph weren't actually even in a relationship. When he won his first title, when he won his second title, and because he was at least a 2 or 3 time champion when him and Steph actually started dating in real life. On camera is one thing. Test was in an on-screen relationship with Stephanie, and he didn't get in a world title match. So you can't say that once you align yourself with the McMahon, you're going to get a title. That people want to make that argument, but that doesn't mean anything. If bottom line, he marries Stephanie and is a shit in-ring performer.
Don't
Vince is
dare
the
disparage the name of Test. Not on this podcast.
Are you a testicle?
Yep.
I didn't realize you were a testicle.
Yeah.
Don't get so testy with me.
The biggest. Oh, Ryan, that was a good one.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't have anything else on Triple H. I don't know if you got anything else on Triple H. We could definitely do a DX episode.
I would love to do a DX episode. We can even
do a faction against faction and do NWO versus. No, we've already done that.
I was gonna say we could even do I was gonna even say a fun one to do would be Evolution versus Four Horsemen, kind of compare and contrast, because that's a one that goes.
That would be pretty cool. give me a little bit of time. Well, we got the next month
I-
planned out, and
I
then
want to watch. I need to go back and watch. I've been wanting to watch a lot more.
I've been watching
Four Horsemen
I've been watching World Class Championship
Championship,
Wrestling.
WCCW.
Yeah, in '85. I've been
Nice.
doing some old episodes like that. I'll usually throw it on and watch I think like it's 90 minutes of. I have no idea who they are till the main event, and it's like Arn and
Yeah.
Arn
Just a
and
bunch.
Steamboat and Tully. Yeah.
No, you know what? The only thing I want to say, if you haven't watched I Am the Game on WWE Network, it's their newest Untold. It's about an hour long. It tells the story of how Triple H became the character of the game. And it leads into his aforementioned matches against Cactus Jack at Royal Rumble 2000 and at No Way Out 2000. Go back and watch those, or go back and watch the documentary, and then watch those two matches back to back. You want to talk? Like, there's no dull point. That those matches start and they just do not stop, and there is not a dull moment, even when it's like that downtime. You've hit such a high from watching it that at the down point, you're just coming down from like, what the fuck did I just see? And then it starts back up again until the match is over. I can't recommend that documentary enough. Plus those two matches probably will be better than Money in the Bank tonight, but we'll still watch Money in the Bank tonight.
Pre-show right now is Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro.
And WWE will probably somehow have them both lose because that's what they do with these guys.
Yeah. So, Bryan, thanks a lot for joining me today, helping me out with yet another podcast. Numbers are looking good this month. It's second highest month besides last month. So
Nice.
Numbers are looking good for this month too. Thanks a lot, Ryan, for helping me out. Like I said, thanks a lot, everyone, for listening, watching, commenting, sharing. But please continue to do so. Share this. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Share. Tell your friends about it. Please.
Happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day. Help me grow this channel more and more. Really means a lot to me.
Sit down with your mother after dinner tonight and put on Triple H.
Yeah. Put on some Triple H. I'm about to go have some dinner right now. They're grilling outside, so I'm gonna.
And you know what he's gonna do when he grills with his parents? He's gonna watch him Triple H with his mom.
Yeah.
Because that's what families do.
Yeah. Well, who's a wrestler that loves their mom? Definitely not gonna put on.
Oh, I was gonna say Raven back in the day had that angle with his mom, but
yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That Cleaver Beaver one.
Beaver cleavage.
Yeah, Beaver cleavage. Definitely not gonna do that one either. So I don't know. I'll figure out something to do with my mom right now. Bought her some flowers already. I'm gonna go eat and hang out with her for like a little bit, and then watch some more Money in the Bank. So, like I said, please subscribe to the podcast. Check out the rewrites. Subscribe to the rewrites. Check out check out Football on Full Heel podcast, the football version of this podcast. And we'll see you guys next time on the Full Heel podcast. I love you, cocksuckers. Please subscribe.
You already fucked up.
And you already fucked up.